Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. What victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough?
A dominant performance.
Gonna stay down, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Run here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Drivers, start your engines!
High pressure, high stakes. It feels like the whole world's watching every move that I make. Another sunrise, another warning, but I'm still learning how to hold the line, how to quiet down the noise inside. And the moments slip away when I forget what I need. So I steady up my hands, let the rhythm set me free. I remember to breathe when the whole world shakes me down. Clear mind, finally free. I won't break, I won't bow. I'm holding on, holding on. Yeah, I'm stronger than I seem. I remember to breathe.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Infinity Broadcasting, and welcome into High Side Motorsports for round 10 of Season 1. as we're racing this evening out at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's the Nightmare on Speedway Boulevard 150 here tonight. Hamish Munro here with you, and I'm joined this evening by a couple of commentators to give me some help across the evening, as I have been rabid sick this weekend, so it'll give me a chance to have a break throughout the race. I'm joined by the wonderful Jack Anderson and Zach Smathers alongside me. Both of you gentlemen have raced in the series this season. Of course, Zach, you've helped organise the series as well. Bristol tonight, it could be pure chaos, being that it's a short track. How do we see this one going, gentlemen? Because it could be absolute fireworks, or it could be an absolute car wreck if we're not careful.
Hamish, they call it the last great Coliseum in American motorsports for a reason. Fans of NASCAR, such as everybody in this league for the most part, we've seen some amazing finishes here, from everything from Dale Earnhardt Sr. spinning Terry Labonte in the last lap to take home the win. Dale Jr.'s famous "It's Bristol, baby" when he won this race. It's a crown jewel event still in the world of NASCAR and stock car racing. Everybody wants to get a win here. It's tough. Tire management is going to be absolutely key tonight. Staying out of any incidents as best as you possibly can. But it's just, we're going to have some beating and banging tonight. Well,
of course, Bristol previously has run dirt races, for a good couple of years, and then they've gone back to running the tarmac in the last few years as well. Looking at this track and how much history that is behind it, ultimately, I think what's going to come down to it tonight is who is comfortable on a short track like this, and then also who's comfortable running through lap traffic, because I think at some stage we are going to find some lap traffic tonight, Jack. How do you think these drivers can best approach lap traffic around these short circuits? I know you've done a lot of short track racing in your time, running through officials in street stocks and stuff like that. How can they best approach the lap traffic tonight with it being such a short circuit?
Oh, you'll definitely approach lap traffic over the course of this race multiple times. So basically just hope that the lap traffic will kind of stay predictable, either choose the bottom line or the top line, or maybe the drivers can communicate to them and ask them to go one or the other way, and just make it easier for everyone. Hope that they don't get tangled up and cause even more incidents with it. So.
Well, of course, we're into the final portion of this season now, with 5 rounds to go after tonight. We're out of Bristol this evening, 300 laps, 150 miles, 3 stages this evening as well. Lap 90 is the first stage, second stage begins at lap 90, third stage begins at 180 this evening. We go back in time next week to Old Atlanta, Pocono, Talladega, Iowa, and then Charlotte to end out our season at the end point of March. And this series and season has gone by very, very quickly. Of course, we crowned our in-season tournament winner last time out at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and what was probably the best race we've had all season, where Kevin Rinker, the underdog all throughout that in-season tournament, and then went on to win the whole thing. And it's a fairy tale ending for him, of course. What last week's race has done, though, is it's somewhat changed up the championship standings. Austin Cole's now gone to the top. Chris Mackey's in second, but he's not racing for the rest of the season, Zach, so he's only going to drop positions. Neither is Josh Parent, so now it puts a little bit of onus onto Mike Rinker, Bailey Brannon, Ryan Hatch, and Trey Jones to try and maximise on their points going forward. As well for Kevin Rinker, being that he's tied on points with Trey and Bailey at this stage. They're all on 307 points. They've got 6 rounds to pretty much make up the 68-point deficit up to Austin Cole. They've got heavy work to do to try and close that gap.
Yeah, they got a lot of work to do, but if anybody, I think, can start doing it, it's going to be Bailey tonight. We've seen him run Bristol quite a bit. We've seen him win here. We've seen him win big races here. So if anybody can kind of start pushing that cart up the hill, so to speak, to start reaching Austin Cole, I think Bailey tonight is going to be the one that is going to have to kind of prove it. We've seen him get in some bad luck spots this past season, running good, and then one thing kind of snowballs into another, and now he's going from top 3 finishes to, even sometimes top 20, if not worse. We've also seen Mike Rinker, who we know mid-season turns it on. It's almost like a light switch clicks on for him, and he finds speed that he necessarily may not have had first half of the season. And you, as well as anybody else knows, Jack as well, Trey Jones is not one to take lightly. And now we have Kevin Winker, who has suddenly, I wouldn't say come out of nowhere, because a lot of us that know Wink have seen him have speed and have pace. That 3-4 week run he just had to win that in-season tournament was like I've never seen. So tonight, if anybody I think is going to be able to do it, it's going to be able to have to be Bailey. He's kind of in the catbird seat. He's up there when it comes to speed through practice. So that's who I'm picking tonight to win this and kind of start inching away and clawing at Austin Cole.
Do we think if Bailey doesn't win this race, because he's gone winless all season now, if he doesn't win tonight, does he win a race this season?
I'm not going to say he can't. I'm not going to say he won't. We still got a lot of races left, a lot of tracks left that I know Bailey is good at. What Bailey is going to start running into, though, is the what if in his head. When you are a consistent winner in a league or official races here in iRacing, and suddenly that luck has gone away and you're not getting the finishes and the results that you're used to, it starts eating away at you. And Bailey, as we know, the ones that know him, it will start compounding on him. So he's really got to focus. He's got to buckle down, pull the gloves on real tight tonight, do what he knows he can do, manage those tires, manage any wrecks, and just stay out of trouble. And I think he can do it.
Well, we'll see how well he can do across the race. Qualifying has just begun. Lap times are beginning to come in now. Magnus Anderson on debut tonight. Jack, you share a last name with him. Do you see any luck coming the Anderson way this evening, running that number 7 car? He's currently P3 in the standings, so he's obviously got some pace about him. But where do we see your fellow Anderson from the other side of the world? Where do we see him ending up tonight? Do we think he can have a good run, or do we think he's got to learn some things about this field and how they race to see where he may finish?
Well, normally the Andersons don't really get much luck when it comes to oval racing, so we'll see if my brother from another mother will maybe he gets all the luck in the family. So we'll see what happens tonight. He seems like he's got some good pace, so should be interesting.
We'll see if he can maximise, of course. We're into the latter stages of the season now. This is where good finishes are crucial tonight. Ultimately, momentum's a massive thing in a season, and the driver probably with the most momentum coming in tonight is Kevin Winker. Now, he hasn't qualified tonight. He's at the back of the field, it seems. I don't think he is going to qualify because he's not out on the road at this stage. He needs to try and maximise that momentum now. I mean, Jack, we've seen time and time again how drivers can drop a championship challenge by having a poor run in the mid-season, and ultimately it's decided normally by drivers who have a strong run at that midpoint and carry the momentum through to the end. Zach, you said earlier on, Mike Rinker normally switches it on in the midway point of the season. He has won before in previous leagues by doing so. For Kevin, he's going to put a big challenge onto him now, so he needs to try and carry that through as well. But they are challenging Austin Cole, who hasn't really dropped in performance all season long. He's been strong all throughout. I think eventually, though, there may be a crink in the camel's back almost. There may be a little crack that starts to show for Austin, and he drops away. And I think ultimately, if he has a poor run tonight, it could be the start of a domino effect that drops him back, puts major pressure on him with guys like Mike Rinker, Bailey Brandon, Trey Jones, Ryan Hatch, and Kevin Winker, as we mentioned, starting to pressure him into the final 5 rounds.
Yeah, and it's something that we haven't had to see from Austin Cole is, can he kind of grit his teeth and bear it and deal with, adversity mid-race. We've seen him get into scrapes here and there, but for the most part, he's relatively kept himself clean all year. When he does get into accidents, he has done a great job of saving his fast repairs and mitigating damage, getting back up there. So we really haven't seen Austin get challenged mid-race. These last 2 weeks have been a little bit of a different story, where he has gotten pressured. They've been longer runs. They've been longer races. Bristol's its own unique beast. Not necessarily if you can stay out of trouble, it's will trouble find you? At what point will trouble find you? Because it's going to affect everybody in this race. That's just what Bristol is. So I'm eager to see the rest of the season if Austin can kind of just keep his nose to the ground, stay focused, or is he going to have that blip? Is he going to have that moment where the luck does run out? He's been fantastic, beyond fantastic so far this year, building that lead, staying in it, and dominating. So I'm really looking forward to that and seeing if anybody can start clawing away, like you said, that getting that chink in the armor. Where is it? Can they find it, and can they utilize it?
Well, we're about to get our answers as everyone's about to start to get gridded up here this evening. I need to change the stages, actually. That's one thing I forgot to change tonight, so let's quickly change that up here. There we go. That should fix it all up for us. As we get started here, so for the starting grid for tonight's race, we've got Ryan Hatch starting ahead of Austin Cole on the front row of the grid. Magnus Anderson, Trey Jones on the second row, with a Posey Cream making up the top 5. Will McKellar, Bailey Brown and Charles Rinker for the top 8. Will Kern and Nick Merceau for the top 10. And as we then look over to the 6th row of the grid, Cody Pruitt, Damon Marotta in behind them. That top 10's looking very strong here tonight. Good qualifying from Charles. Obviously, he couldn't race last week because of admin duties. He had to pull out very, very early to sort some stuff out that was happening. Hopefully for him tonight, he can have a strong run starting inside of the top 10. Looking back to Trey Martin, Robert Stevens Jr., starting at Keith Vaughan, Paul Harris, Mike Rinker starting further back in the field tonight, Austin Stampo, and then Kevin Winker makes up the 19 cars on the grid here this evening. And as everyone prepares themselves to get running and ready to go racing once again, they all start on the main straight. And we'll see throughout the night how well they're going to do and how well they can hold it together all throughout this race.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think Winker, not necessarily a bad thing, hanging out in the back there. It's if I was running tonight, it's probably what I would be doing. Just hang out in the back, let everybody do their thing, try and avoid those wrecks as best as possible. Not necessarily a bad move, I think, from Winker there.
Well, I mean, it's a long race, ultimately. There's 2 stages, worth of stage points on offer tonight. If you were going to strategize, gentlemen, how you would approach this race. So if you're trying to challenge Austin Cole as best as possible, are you going to try and maximize stage points and hope that over the last 120 laps of this race, you can get to the end and finish up the front at the end of it? So, maximizing stage points in stage 1, stage 2, and then using the last 120 laps to strategize your way forward to get maximum points at the top end?
I think the stage points matter for Austin more than they do Bailey or Mike or anybody else kind of in that area. Like we know, Parent isn't here anymore and Mackey's not here anymore, so they're obviously they're not an issue at this point. You're not jumping them. Yeah, the stage points and all that are good to start climbing your way up that hill, but I think just finishing well, finishing above Austin is what your goal should be. If you can maximize those stage points, beautiful, do it. But don't use it in a way that sacrifices your long-term goal tonight. It's a long race, 300 laps. It seems like a long, period of racing. The laps are going to go quick here. So just be smart, stay in contention, stay near the front, stay out of danger.
Well, I think it's the best possible strategy tonight is to keep that danger at a lower level as best you can. And when this pace truck comes in, I think we're going to get a good vibe of how tonight's going to go, depending on how these first sort of 10 laps go this evening. If we get some chaos early, that may be an indicator of how the whole night's going to run. But if we can keep it tidy across the first 10 laps, I think we have an opportunity to get into a nice green flag rhythm and push on as best we can. As we get to the start zone here tonight, lights have gone out and Bristol Motor Speedway is underway for 150 miles, 300 laps. The first stage has begun in lap 1 of 90. And we've immediately have a caution because Merceau and Marotta have gone round. It's an immediate caution, Jack. Do we see this being ultimately a trend for the evening, because this is how it's happened, and it just looks like a little bit of spatial awareness has not gone a long way here.
Yeah, it does look like that. It's going to be one of those things where drivers are just going to have to be aware of each other, and hopefully we don't see a trend starting. As we see a couple more drivers also getting caught up in that as well. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't become a trend, because it'll be a long night here tonight if it is for the boys. So yeah, hopefully it's just a one-off, or just a couple of those tonight, and it's mostly green running would be very nice for everyone.
Yeah, you see Rinker there already. My idea and belief that was a good idea has already kind of backfired on me there. Commentator curse on him there a little bit.
Well,
Yeah, he got into
got
wrong
into some
place.
strife. You know, it's as you just said, Jack. Wrong place, wrong time. Although 300 laps tonight, Jack. I mean, plenty of time for him to get back into it, but that's an early incident that he does not want to be a part of.
Yeah, exactly. It's a really it's a very long race tonight, so there's plenty of time to make up ground that you may lose. Plenty of opportunities to maybe even get a lucky dog if you go down a lap. So yeah, it's not like you'd crash out lap 1 and be like, oh well, I'm done. You've got plenty of time to make up ground, make up some positions by the end of it, and maybe even come away with the win if you're lucky enough.
Yeah, and really, that early incident is not a killer for him. He's going to be able to get a lot of damage repaired under these caution laps. His idea, I think, is to just kind of stay in the back, stay out of trouble as best he can. I know, like I said, trouble found him tonight so far, but he should be okay just getting that damage repaired, saving that fast repair. Luckily, those speeds weren't too high that should have done a lot of damage to him. So hopefully he's able to get back out there and stay healthy and get back going on this.
Yeah, that was a very quick stop, so you wonder whether he did use the fast repair there. But yeah, it's a good point. You just come in, get your optionals done bit by bit, stay on the lead lap, come back in under the cautions, and slowly repair that car and get back out there ready to go at it again.
Pace truck back in pit lane. Green flag is flying once again here at Bristol. Lap 6 of 90 for stage 1. Can we survive a full lap of green flag running here at Bristol this evening? As Brannon battling away with the debutant in Anderson, and as well to Charles Rinker just ahead of him as well. You can see already a little bit of side-by-side action here. It's very early on in the race though to be going for moves like this. We've got plenty of time to try and strategize around this, save some tyres, save some fuel as well. You've done some practice throughout the week, Zach. Now, what are we looking at in terms of laps that these cars can make on the fuel they've currently got on board, and then as well for the limited tyre sets they have available to them this time as well?
The tires are your big priority. Saving those tires, not tearing down the doors on turn entry. Really just trying to back off your corner entry is going to be key. That high line is, as you can see, it's kind of working, but you're going to really burn up those tires staying on that high line for too long. It's going to start punishing you. You've got to just know how to be patient, how to time your runs, how to just take what the track is giving. This is definitely a track that will punish you if you overdrive it. Fuel-wise, they should be good for a long haul on fuel. Tires, not so much. So it's going to be one of those tracks. We watched. If you watched the Daytona 500 today, you saw a lot of those cars, running 3/4 throttle, if not a little less, to try and save fuel. It's going to be the exact opposite tonight. Fuel is not an issue. It's tires, tires, tires.
We'll be able to look after the tyres as best as they can. Sometimes that's some of the that's one of the toughest parts of racing and strategizing, is holding on to that rubber that's underneath you and keeping the good use of a good temp, but also a good wear as well along the race, keeping them underneath you. And I think if you can get into that rhythm, Jack, of everyone's kind of working together just to get to the end point of the stage, and almost cutting the race down into sections as it is, in the format of break it down in sections, figure out, okay, I need to last 90 laps, I then need to last another 90 laps, and then it's 120 to the end. How can I best strategize around this? Well, with the tyre sets available, is there any worth only taking right sides? I don't know. I know you're a fan of taking right sides, Jack, but is there maybe more worth to taking a full set of tyres than just one side and trying to make gains in pit lane?
Yeah, I would think at this sort of track you would most likely just take, you would take both sides because, or it depends on how much it's wearing on the left, but the discrepancy between the two tyres sometimes, like even on the restarts, you could have worn tyres on the left if you just take two, and it'll wheel spin because of the left tyres. So sometimes it can also be a detriment if you only take two tyres rather than four. Whereas I just send it with a strategy. I'm not really one to think it out and just do it as it comes, which probably isn't smart, but it is what it is.
You are the raw dog king. You would get a bunny snag without sauce on it. If it's madness, you would do that. But I think that with it being such a long race, and I think ultimately tonight, it's not going to come down to on-track battles. I don't think we're going to get the necessary spectacular on-track battles we had last time in Indianapolis. I think tonight what we're going to see is the strategy game. Jack, I'm a big fan of a strategy game. The technicalities of strategy game is massive because you can get some really exciting moments where a race can be won in pit lane. Having your strategy set up well is obviously going to take you a step further than someone who might come into it without a plan and they're kind of just winging as they go along. But even as we've seen over the weekend, obviously iRacing official Daytona 500 and the real life Daytona 500 today as well. Survival's always a factor too. Staying within it. A big wreck can happen as Ryan Hatch gets a bit loose off of turn 4. But keeping yourself within the game of keeping your car clean, I think staying on the lead lap's crucial tonight ultimately. Don't want to go a lap down because, Zach, if you get trapped a lap down, it could kill your race so quickly tonight, especially if you've gone a lap down under green and then a caution comes out and you're not in position to get a lucky dog.
Yeah, 100% correct. That goes along with trying to mitigate, damage, not just to your car, but self-imposed. A lap down doesn't necessarily kill you this early because you're most likely expecting a good, healthy amount of cautions here, especially as these tires get worn in and guys start losing a little bit of grip. But you don't want to make self-inflicted mistakes. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. So just running your race, running smart. That's going to be key here tonight. Don't push the envelope if you don't absolutely have to. We know there's a few guys, Bailey's one of them, that when they see an opening, they take it. And if you're not smart and if you don't mitigate that damage, it's going to bite you.
We can see that some drivers are just trying to stay out of a tight battle pack here at this point. So it seems that Stampers decided just to run it back a little bit, try and stay out of a massive, staggered 3-wide affair. Ultimately, it could end really poorly if you are, left in the dust of a massive incident that could occur. But the low speed of tonight should mean that we're not going to see necessarily massive incidents, but we could still get plenty of cautions that do lock drivers out of, being on the lead lap. But we've run pretty well thus far. I mean, we have the first caution on lap 1, and since lap 6 when we've gone green, we've done a good job of going 25 laps, green flag running to this stage to get up to lap 30. And I think everyone's starting to get in their rhythm now. I think they've learned of what caused the first caution of, a bit of spatial awareness can go a long way. And when you lack that spatial awareness at the time, that's when it can ultimately affect you. And I think right now, that's what the drivers are just trying to maximise is, stay aware of where you are. We can already see some drivers are getting caught here by call. So Harris has now gone a lap down. Stamper's about to go a lap down too. If a caution were to come out now, it would lock Marotta and Mercero. Although Mercero is 2 laps down now, it would lock both of them off the lead lap if a caution came out. It would mean that Harris will at least have a chance to get back onto that lead lap, as we said.
Yeah, and Austin's chugging along, little engine it could, essentially. Really smooth. He's run a great line right now, smooth in, smooth out. He's not pushing himself more than he needs to. McKellar's doing a hell of a job there, staying with him. He's got some speed. It's just going to be one of those things where you're just going to have to let this race come to you. Like I said, don't try and push it if you don't need to. It's a long race. Very proud of the guys for keeping it clean, getting 35 laps in so far, clean racing. And like you said, it looks like they're kind of feeling this track out. They've learned how it's kind of behaving, how their car's reacting to the tire wear and all that. So it's just be steady, be smart.
It's the best thing they can do. With it being such low speed tonight, Jack, obviously, it's only 150 miles. 300 laps at Bristol can still take a fair while because they're not getting up to the high speeds that a 1.5 mile track would give them, or a super speedway as well. That will still play on their minds a bit because they're not really getting a chance to have a break tonight other than when they come into pit road, because it is such a short run between corners. Never really getting a chance to take a breath. It's almost like running the Petit Le Mans a little bit, if you were to compare it to road racing, because similar to Road Atlanta, you don't really get a chance to have a break other than down the back straight. Here tonight, the only chance you really get a break is when you come into pit road and you do your quick stop, and even then it's not that much of time to have a drink or get yourself recentered if you get a little bit hot out there.
Yeah, exactly. If it was any shorter, you'd just be constantly turning. So you don't really get much of a break. You literally come out of the corner, you throttle a little bit, and then you're straight back into the next corner. So it's so demanding over the period of time of the race that people might even get tired, might get fatigued, and might see mistakes start to come into it later on, as we see a couple of boys going side by side.
Yeah, Rinker looks like he's starting to kind of move up the field a little bit, pressuring my guys, Cody Pruitt in the 16 and Robert Stevens in the 67 there. He looks like he's not, looking to settle just to hang out in the back now. He doesn't want to get lapped down.
I mean, he's
got
to try and get a move on here, Jack, as best he can.
Yeah, exactly. You got to try and make up some spots early, see if you can get into a rhythm as well. Try and get away from, or as far away from the leaders as you can to try not to go lap down as well. I was hearing in the paddock before the race, Zach, that you might have given incentive to some of your drivers to do well. They might get a belly rub.
I am not opposed to giving post-race bonuses for my drivers, especially if it's Cody Pruitt and Robert Stevens Jr. They'll get the belly rubs.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. There's perks to being on Arch City. There's perks.
Yeah. I've heard rumors though, Zach, that there may be a new powerhouse team coming through for next season.
We can't talk too much about it, mainly because I haven't even told my guys about it yet. So we might want to keep that one tight-lipped. But there are some rumblings of a super team, if you will.
Well, I mean, we need some teams to try and bring it to Bucket Motor Club, which have been dominating the team standings all season. One thing we haven't really been tracking is those team standings, because it has been so dominated by Bucket Motor Club. But we can see up here is some more lap traffic starting to get into it. That call has begun to get caught up here by McKellar and Hatch.
Yep.
And this is the factor of lap traffic tonight, Zach. It's going to slow people up, and eventually it's going to bring you back into it. And this is the dance with the devil that you're going to have to make of. Or do you try and take advantage and put yourself at higher risk, or do you just try and get through cleanly and then wait for some clean air to try and put your salt back on, the race lead up? Cole right now be feeling the pressure because the lap traffic's not doing him any favours, and it's dragged McKellar and Hatch back into it, as well as Magnus Anderson now, who's hooked onto the back of them. Yeah,
and that's the big thing. We've seen in real life, drivers will get 2, 3, 4 second head starts and kind of have a gap, and then all of a sudden here comes the lap cars, and now they're losing a half second each lap, and it really bogs you down. It's almost like a parachute, as we see McKellar. Really, he wants that lead. He sees that opening, he wants to pounce on it, and then you have Hatch there just waiting for one of them to mess up, and that's really all you got to do. If really anybody right there is waiting for something to happen, it's going to be Hatch and Magnus Anderson there. Just wait to see what Call does. Wait to see what McKellar does. Does one of them tap the other? Does one of them try and do a bump and run and take this lead? As we see McKellar dropping low and starting to really get a run on him.
We're also seeing runs through pit lane beginning now as well. Paul Harris, Mike Rinker, Charles Rinker, and the opposing Kareem, as well as Teddy Martin, have all now come into pit lane at this stage of the race. So now that Teddy's got a lap down, he's come through as we can see Mike Rinker almost getting into the back of McKellar there. And that's another struggle of, well, lap traffic. They've got good pace. They want to try and get their lap back as Mike Rinker sends it on the outside of McKellar. Opposing Kareem's there as well as Will Kearns into the wall with Ryan Hatch. And there's a caution, and this is going to trap some cars a lap down now. This may trap some drivers a lap down on the race leader, as the front few have not come into pit lane yet, are about to get a free pit stop.
Yeah, it looks like Keith Vaughn's going to be the big benefactor of this, getting back on that lead lap, sitting there in 11th. And that's 100% what you don't want to see when you're taking green flag pit stops. This track is so quick and so small that you're going to go 2 laps down just in one pit cycle. It's just the nature of the beast. Now, you're hoping that you get that lap or 2 back, but things like this, that cripples half this field. And we got some speed that just got trapped a lap down. Both Rinker brothers, opposing Kareem, that's a lot of speed right there to be now lap or 2 down.
I suppose the benefit is, well, actually no, because they're going to be ahead of the race leader, they're going to get shoved to the end of line to refilter the field now and decontaminate it a little bit here. But as you said, Keith Vaughn is the big benefactor. He gets his lucky dog wave round. He can now come into pit lane, get his free stop, and remain on the lead lap. I mean, it's very early on in the race, Jack, but this has probably killed some drivers' runs here in the first stage, where if they don't get a caution within the next 40 laps, they're not going to be at any sort of opportunity here to get themselves some stage points here tonight.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that a lot of the drivers out there, the last thing that they were hoping for was a yellow to come out after they'd come out and set their pits. You could see a lot of the drivers that had pit early had started, like, they had a lot more pace because of they would have taken on new tyres and been able to try and get their laps back. But because of this caution, it's now it's thwarted their efforts, let's say. And yeah, that would have been one of the last things. If we see a replay of the incident.
Oh, and 3 wide at Bristol often doesn't end well. And unfortunately, I think both of them they've kind of just drifted towards each other there, Zach, and there's not much you can do about that one. Ryan's trying to come down to follow his line. Will's drifting up in towards him. They're always going to make contact with those sorts of trajectories. Yeah,
and that's just a matter of, I think, I remember Kern had went in for tires, got fresh tires, and you're so much quicker after fresh tires on this track. And you've got to be careful that the speed difference, especially in those turns, it's drastic. It's absolutely drastic. And you're not really prepared for it, I don't think, right off the start. And guys trying to filter back in on green flag stops, it's just making for a bad situation like we saw there.
So the 02 car of Ryan Hatch has been found at fault for that one. He's been given an EOL for that incident. So when this race gets restarted as we get to green, with 31 laps to go in stage 1, he needs to try and drop back to the end of line because he has been given an EOL from race control. Yeah,
I believe it was actually Kern. They got an end of line penalty.
Yep, they claimed that on Kern. And Hatch
going around.
Spinning. Yep. Saved it. Big lick on Stamper.
Yep. And there's another caution.
He licked the stamp.
This is only going to help now Damon Marotta because he's about to get his lucky dog. So there's another car that's about to get back on the lead lap. I think the best thing that Marotta can do now is get his lucky dog, come in, put a bit of extra fuel in it here, Zach, and then get back out there and remain on the lead lap. I think that there's going to be the strategy now for Marotta now that he's going to be back on this lead lap.
Yeah, that's 100% what I would do. Come in, get that fuel, save your tires. You realistically do not need to get tires right now. Don't waste a set. But get that fuel and kind of offset yourself a little bit. If that lets you go a lap or two more than anybody else, that's going to put you in a good position. Because like you saw during these last green flag stops, that it's a good possibility that guys get tangled up just by the speed difference and the handling difference that these new tires are going to give you.
So Ryan Hatch has come into pit lane now, and he's got big damage on that car. You can see it crabbing just slightly,
Yep.
rears heading to the left-hand side of the car. So he's going to have to fix this thing up. I wonder if he uses the fast repair at this point, or if he's going to try and get... If it's optionals, which I think it may more than likely will be, it's probably better off just trying to... Oh, no, he has used the fast repair. So this now puts some pressure on Hatch to try and survive this race. If he ends up back in pit lane with damage, it'll be his race over, because he'll go multiple laps down very, very quickly. With it being such a short track, it's very difficult for you to almost bleed the optionals out in pit lane and then keep yourself from going a lap down, because you've only got so long before the train comes past you again, and ultimately for Hatch, he doesn't really have a chance unless it is caution after caution to keep himself on the lead lap and fixing up those optional repairs in pit lane without by saving his fast repair. Ultimately, different story. Daytona 500 across the weekend. You go into a wreck, you could bleed the optionals out throughout the cautions and keep yourself on the lead lap. Ultimately for Ryan, with it being such a short track tonight, it's so hard for him to do that. He'd barely get it done. He'd need bold cautions to do it.
Yeah, me and you watched Posey this weekend, or last night, I believe, win the official Daytona 500, and he had 9 minutes of optional repairs at one point. Yeah. But because his split just kept having steady cautions, he was able to utilize that minute and a half, almost 2 minute window pace laps at a place like Daytona that lets you get that repaired, and he was able to win it. Here, you're not so lucky. Even under pacing, you've only got 30 to 45 seconds, if that, to get any sort of repairs done. So you've really got to decide, is this fast repair worth it? And now, like you said, he's under the 8 ball. He's going to have to really keep it clean and stay out of trouble.
Well, pressure's going to be on him now as we hit lap 66. We've got 25 laps to go in stage 1 before we decide the initial run of points here tonight. We can see as well Bailey Brannon and Kevin Rinker are already battling away. Further back, Trey Jones is up within the top 10 as well. Anderson on debut, P3 where he qualified tonight, so he's done a great job. McKellar up 4, Cole up 1 into the race lead, but McKellar is all over him like a bad
he's
snot
really,
at the stage. He's sticking to
really
him like
using
glue.
that chrome horn.
He is.
Really using that chrome horn. Trying to get that bump and run going early. He is putting the pressure on Austin Call here.
Oh, big crash.
Oh my God, and it's Ryan Hatch.
Yep.
Oh, and again, you called it, Jack, as it happened. This now, if his car has got, which it should do, if it has any sorts of damage,
have a lot.
Yeah, he is going to have to. Oh, and he's just come across the nose of Kareen.
Yep.
And there's 4 cars that have come out of this with meatball flags. Yep. Ryan Hatch, Mike Rinker, Posey, and Austin Stamper all having meatballs.
Oh my God.
Wow. I have never seen a car flip at Bristol before. So there we go.
It's the first time for
everything. Rivals my Nashville crash.
Yeah.
It rivals our Martinsville race we did.
Mike Rinker not having a good time there, just absolutely T-boning the O2 car. Austin Stamper, wrong place, wrong time there. That's unfortunate for him. He's just been kind of pedaling along and staying on his own, and just another case of he found the bad luck.
And you know what this is for Ryan? And it's happened to all of us before. We've used the fast repair for some optionals, and then immediately meatball flag, and it's race done, pretty much. Because I don't think there's any world. He's probably going to have at least 5 minutes of required repairs now. I don't know if I see a world in which Ryan can get back into this now. If he gets back into it and somehow gets back on the lead lap, that is going to be a massive, massive effort. I think ultimately, though, with so many laps left tonight, it may be worth him fixing the car and getting back out there because there may still be more cars that have incidents. Knowing now those drivers who just had a meatball, Jack, they've all used their fast repair now, so now they're in the same situation. Although he's straight out again. So actually, he was in there for 30 seconds.
Yep, he's
his
essentially
meatball's
just got his fast repairs. Oh, not his fast repairs. Sorry, he's got the required repairs done, and he's gone out there to try and keep his lap.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll
You
see
can
now
see
if
the rear end of that car is quite
yeah,
banged up still.
It is. So we'll see now if he filters back into pit lane to try and bleed the optionals, as we said. He's only going to have so much opportunity to do it, though, Zach. We mentioned it before, roughly 30 to 45. Realistically, it's probably about 35
Probably 30.
seconds that he can
Yeah.
do because of the fact he has to get out before the cars come past him.
Yeah, because this pace speed is pretty quick,
Yeah.
and it goes by quick here. It's you think that you have a lot more time on pit road, but because of how kind of long and where you enter pit road at this track, as you see him kind of crab walking in there a little bit, so he definitely still has a lot of damage. But if he can just kind of keep it on the track and really not get in anything else, he might have a chance to get that fully repaired and make another run at this here later on. So it's just going to be,
if we get another caution, which is pit stop worthy, because I think right now with the cautions we've had, this is gonna vault the front runners to the end of the stage where they don't need to stop. So I think for him, he's got to try and come in under every caution, take off some of those optionals, and then ultimately when he gets to the stage end, he needs to come in and try and get bulk optionals done. Because of the fact that everyone else is going to be in as well, he's going to be at less risk of going a lap down because of that. So he's probably going to get an extra 30 seconds of optionals done in that caution stop for the stage end. So he might still be able to knock this out, but he's got to keep it clean as best he can.
yeah. And honestly, I wouldn't even worry about at this point with probably how much damage he still has to fix. I'm not even concerned about going a lap down, maybe even 2 laps down. After 2, though, I don't really think I'm going to press the issue too much on, as we see McKellar really taking it to awesome call there. I'm not going to press the issue on worrying about going a lap down. It's more keeping my car clean, because points are a premium now at this point in the season standings. He can't just give up. He's right there in striking distance. He's got to maximize his points output here this race as best as he can. And if that means going a lap or 2 down to get damage done, to stay out there and kind of, just limp around and be in it, then that's honestly what I would do.
So what this has done is, this is now actually trapped P15 and down, 2 laps down on the race leader. Kareen, who got an EOL for that incident, is still the only one who's a single lap down on the race leader.
And like I said, 2 laps down isn't crippling. It looks worse than it really is. 1 green flag cycle, you're right back into it. Like I said, you're going to get a lap or 2 down by just going in for a green flag pit stop. So those guys that are 2 laps down, even Paul there, 3 laps down, they're not out of it. You just got to stay focused and stay patient.
That's the best thing they can do at this point, is just stay patient and stay with the whole field.
Oh, he's gone around again. He's caught it this time though, but
Oh,
Yeah, that damage is really affecting the handling of that car.
and he's, you can see the rear end is just barely hanging on at this point. And again, ultimately, well, he's at heavy risk of going a lap down on the race leaders. May not be such a bad thing though, because if there is a caution and he gets the wave around for that lucky dog, it will mean that he can get waves around, come in pit lane, and again not be at risk of going a lap down. So he would still get back on the lead lap and be able to get optionals done. But it's going to be a long night for him. It's going to be a tough night for him and his pit crew out there too, with 9 to go in the first stage.
Yeah, they're going to get their fake money worth tonight.
their Monopoly money's worth.
Yeah.
We should play Monopoly. That'd be a great time.
We'd be there for hours.
We would be there for hours.
We'll play Uno instead.
Oh, yes. Great time. Barely into the end of stage 1. We're already talking about just the most random of topics. I look forward to us being able to play Throttle.
It's a long race, boys. I got a lot of stuff written down that we're going to hit on tonight. I hope you understand that.
You know what? I'm so glad you've actually taken notes, Zach.
Yeah.
It's more than I've ever done.
Well, I got to do it right. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right.
You know what? I respect it. Absolutely respect it. Kevin Rinker, obviously tough start to the race. Up 13 now at this point to P6. Once again, just sneaking his way forward tonight. In what has been an absolute top-level effort from Kevin Rinker. I'm seriously impressed by Kevin and how well he has done across this race. And ultimately, if there's any team owners out there, you should be looking at Kevin. Because I think Kevin is probably
100%.
Probably the most, I would argue, most underrated driver in the whole field in terms of where he's come from and where he's gotten to.
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree with that.
I would easily put him, for the drivers that are left, obviously with Mackie leaving and then Parent losing his position in the league, Kevin, arguably, is probably the third-seeded driver at the moment in the whole league behind Cole and Mike.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. He's right up there with, Bailey, Mike, Austin. I've watched Rinker in other leagues, from the fan side of it. And I know he's got his little, his Rinker Nation crew out there that they're diehards. It's one thing to be impressed with Kevin from that aspect of it, from watching it. When you get on the track with him, and one of the most respectful drivers I've ever been around, as we got McKellar again trying to harass Call. And another yellow here, it looks like.
That's the stage end. So we've gotten to the stage end.
Yep.
Points will get allocated. So it's Call to McKellar, Anderson, Jones, Brannon, Rinker, Pruitt, Stevens, Kern, and Vaughan are our stage points accumulators there for stage one.
Yeah, and big shout out to Trey Jones there. Yeah, at one point he was down there in 17th. I want to say 2 laps down, maybe a lap or 2 down, and just clawed his way back up to a top 5 stage finish here. That's absolutely impressive. Him and Rinker right there. For Wink to start back of the field dead last and have that early damage and all that and get a top 10 finish here in the stage, that's absolutely impressive. Pruitt and Stevens, my guys there, proud of them, 7 and 8, just plugging away. But no, back to Rinker. Like I said, watching it from the fan side of it, and then actually getting on the track, and there's nobody more respectful to drive around. He is a sight to behold on that track. And like I said, and like you said, him just quietly plugging away and really just turning it on during that end season tournament. He was focused. He was committed. Absolutely proud of him in that run he just had, and looks like he's going to continue to have here tonight. It's amazing the driving skills that he has, and he's quiet about it. He's a silent assassin out there.
Well, he has just made a very bold attempt here at an alternative strategy. He hasn't come in under the stage caution. He stayed out and probably trying to go to the end of his tank run. Brannon and Vaughan have taken the bold choice to not take tyres, and they've only taken fuel, so that's gotten them track position. The issue now for Austin Cole is, because he's now 3 cars behind the race lead, if he begins to get buried in the train,
yep,
and if somehow he drops back and he gets put a lap down and then a caution comes out, that's going to be a tough run for Cole. He's in a tough spot right now, and he's got to try and maximise his Winker's about to come in. A very odd call here for Rinker to stay out and then come into pit road where he's...
I don't think it's actually a bad call. Rinker now gets points for leading the lap. So he just maximized even more points out of that stage run he just had. So that 6th place finish goes essentially down to a 5th place finish because of those extra points. I think that's actually a really good move, and that's a really smart strategy to get that lead lap bonus. And he's right in it in the season standings. He knows it. He knows exactly where he's at. That's actually a really smart move.
I didn't even think of that, actually. That's... You're right, Zach. That's actually kind of smart. Yes, he's put himself further back, but ultimately, if he's comfortable enough, he knows he can keep it clean. It shouldn't affect him too much. The problem now is that he's at more risk of this than what Cole is. If he goes a lap down again as we go back to green, he's only just caught the back of the train. he's out the end of the line. So for Brannon, he leads the way. He'll get some extra points here, or an extra point for leading a lap. And McKellar, he's hungry for positions. He wants to try and push his way forward. The big loser out of this is Keith Vaughan, who did not take tyres, only took fuel. As Pruitt there getting a bit loose. Oh, loose again through 1 and 2.
Saved it.
He somehow did. Oh no, big contact with Will Kern.
Oh.
And once again, Ryan Hatch has been in the wall. His night is only gone from bad to worse here, Jack.
Yeah, exactly. Multiple cars once again with meatballs here. Rinker, Pruitt, and Martin all have meatballs out of that one, unfortunately. Hatch can't seem to catch a break tonight. He always seems to, unfortunately, find himself unable to avoid the incident. So, unfortunate. Obviously, you can't have... not every night can be your night. We all have those rough ones. And hopefully he's able to bounce back and get a good result from it, at least.
We still got a long way to go, so it's not over, but it's, the fat lady, as they say, she's not singing, but she's damn sure warming up for some of these guys.
Oh, don't say that, Zach. We may get karaoke going tonight here at Bristol.
I'm not opposed to singing Unchained Melody to you guys here around lap 150.
Of course. So. Trey Martin has been given a black flag, by the way, I think for an unsafe pit entry or speeding in pits. Could we claim that Hatch can't quite hatch a break tonight, since you said he couldn't catch a break, Jack? That was terrible. I'm disappointed in myself.
I'm proud of you for... I'm proud of you for making dad jokes, though.
Thank you.
I don't want to commentate anymore. I actually kind of want to just jump in my car now and see if I would rather run last now, I think.
Yeah, see if you could make it onto the lead lap somehow.
Yeah, just out of pure spite and discontent for that joke. I'm ashamed of you.
We had a question earlier on in chat from Rhiannon saying, if it's a super team, I mentioned earlier, will the liveries be made to look like they have little capes on them?
You could do a little cape on the roof.
I could put a little cape on the roof. Yeah, I could put a little cape on the roof.
What's wrong with a little cape?
The only clue I'll give you is it'll be my team. So I'll be buying into a team.
Now I won't lie. I thought she said little cake, and I got really excited about a little cake. If that tells you anything about me. So if anybody wants to give me a cake out there, by all means.
I believe, Zach, your birthday is coming
next week.
Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next week. Yeah, next Tuesday.
Cake. What is your favorite cake of choice, Zach?
I'm a vanilla guy. I'm a very boring cake guy. Vanilla or I'll say a carrot cake. I do love me some carrot cake.
Oh my God.
We'll go down to Coles and we'll buy you a vanilla mud cake.
I guarantee you that Zach is a big fan of the Walmart birthday cake flavored cake.
I am not, actually. I refuse to go there. Yeah.
You've definitely been banned from a Walmart before. What has happened to McKellar off the start?
Looks like he spun those tires. He was not on his A game there. That start, he spun those tires and just smacked the wall.
Do we think that maybe he took just rights and then the left tires are just worn to the point where...
Yeah, he very well could have. That's usually not something you see when the guy takes full fresh.
14.6, that would be enough for 4 tires, would it not? So I think 9.6 for Brannon tells me he only took right sides.
Yeah.
And then 6 seconds from Vaughan earlier was just fuel.
Yeah,
and anybody... the lower gear.
Yeah, he could have been starting first on accident there. He got a lot of power on that restart, but it doesn't seem to have affected him too much. He's a little swirly there, but he's powering forward. That's impressive right there. Launched himself around Paul.
Such a great job to get by him as well. And obviously with such a long run still to go tonight, maximising on these cautions and maximising your points as well is going to be crucial.
Bailey here maximizing that gap. I mean, he's pulling away from these guys like we really hadn't seen anybody do. Austin got a good lead, but it was short-lived. Bailey is pulling away. If there's anybody that knows how to run this track with 2 tires, no tires, or all 4, it's Bailey. He puts a lot of work into Bristol, learning how these tires are going to act and running tire tests through the week. So Bailey he's cooking right now.
Yeah, Bailey really wants to get those Bailey rubs.
Billy Room.
I told him before race, if he does, I'll give him all the Bailey rubs.
He was talking to us earlier about how much he wants to win this one. He loves this track, so
Yeah.
And as you said, he's put in the miles, he's put in the effort, all the tire testing over what he would normally test, I would say. Yeah, he's definitely putting in the effort, and it's showing tonight. He's got the pace, he's got the knowledge, and he's been able to keep it clean.
Well, knowledge and Bailey may be a bit of a stretch, but definitely
He's got the track knowledge.
He's got the track knowledge.
Yeah, he's got track knowledge. He does go to Florida State still, so I won't give him too much book knowledge. But me and Charles, a few months back, watched him win a 500 lapper here in a different league that he was in. And so, if like I said, there's anybody that knows how to run this track and these cars and with any sort of tire, wear, like I said, fresh, old, two, left, don't matter. It's Bailey Brandon. And he's really showing that right now.
Well, we know obviously to next season, for those who are in the Discord know about next season's calendar. We haven't announced it yet on broadcast this season. We will announce the full calendar.
It's all iRacing Super Speedway, all 15 weeks.
Yeah, maybe tonight we'll announce all of the tracks. But I want to talk about the short tracks we have on offer next season, because we do actually have quite a fair few. We've raised it up from 2 short tracks to, I think, 4, including the All-Star race. So,
correct, yeah.
So we've got Michigan next season. Very excited about.
Yep.
All-Star race at Martinsville. Bolt death. We return to Bristol once again for a shorter race, 225 laps next season. That's August 16th.
Yeah.
That's the next time we'll be here at Bristol, and then Richmond Raceway a few weeks after that as well. So with some more short tracks on offer next season, obviously it's rebalanced the series out a little bit too. We return to Nashville once again for the Clash. That'll start on April 12th, so that's when you can look forward to season 2. With double the amount of short tracks, it's going to put the onus now on drivers who can drive these short tracks. And I think the way that the calendar's balanced out next season, it's balanced out that if you're an all-rounder and you can drive short track, 1.5 miles, super speedway and road courses, the driver that is the biggest all-rounder is going to be the one who comes out on top. It's not necessarily going to be, if you're a specialist at whatever is the most amount of used tracks, i.e. 1.5 mile circuits, which we've had this season. And that means it could change up who is actually the challenger for the title race next season compared to who is at contention this season. I think if Cole comes back, he's obviously still going to be a challenger. He's got on a road course. He's probably the biggest all-rounder out of everybody. But there are drivers out there who will challenge him. I think Kareen can challenge him as McKellar now takes the race lead, and Anderson's putting some pressure on Brannon. And I'm excited to see how Anderson does now across the next few weeks. And we haven't got anything on him in terms of road course ability. Tonight, though, here at Bristol, he's doing a phenomenal job running at the front end of town. I'm interested to see what he does at, not only Old Atlanta next week, Pocono, though, and of course out at Charlotte at the end of the season, because that's going to give us an idea, or a rough idea, of how well he can do at different types of tracks, and actually how much of an all-rounder he is, as there is another caution that has been brought out.
And that's actually a great time caution for Bailey there. Those tires are starting to get a little too worn. As we see, it looks like Rinker got into that.
Oh, Harris off the wall.
Oh. Is that Harris? Is that? Oh, yeah, that's
yeah,
Paul.
that was Harris into the side of Kevin Rinker.
FYP there.
Yep, FYP to Paul.
Yep.
Shout out 2738. And of course, Paul is, aside from Trey Martin, who's in pit lane, Paul is the car that's in the last position on track tonight. Meatball flag.
Paul was not looking forward to this one.
No.
Yeah, Paul was not looking forward to this at all. It's, he was a little worried about this race. It's not his style of racetrack. But Paul being Paul, gotta love him.
And we've seen McKellar come out of the lead into the pits as well over this. So that's interesting. Everyone else has stayed out and McKellar's come in.
I wonder if he's just trying to offset himself slightly. You know, knowing that we're onto lap 124. Race leaders, with the amount of cautions that they had, they ran roughly 56 laps on the last stint, but I think they may have just come in early because it was close enough to the extent of the tank. So does he maybe believe that, well, realistically at 56 laps he could make the end of the stage from here?
Yeah,
and
I mean, I that's what I think. I mean, we've seen him. Yeah, there's really nobody tonight, Austin Cole included. He's got pace. He's making these guys work for every inch of this track. He's got some confidence in that car and in himself that, you know, maybe, and like you said, offset this a little bit and kind of zig when everybody else zags, and he'll be right back up there. I don't see why he couldn't be right back up there within a few laps as long as he plays it smart.
Well, what should be effective race leader to the end of the stage currently is Charles Rinker, because he's the top placed car who's pitted on lap 123 now. And again, at 56 laps they previously went to in the last stage, again, that was offset by around about 4 cautions. So they saved probably 4 laps, but I think they came in on 56, Zach, because it was close enough to the end of their fuel run. Now,
yeah, that made the most sense. And like I said, if you practice this week and you're confident in the tire wear, this shouldn't be an issue for you. For me, it'd be a little bit too long of a run, but I'm also not very nice to my tires, so I can't really speak too much on that.
Well, we'll see how they all do. How they all prepare themselves, as it is green flag once again as Magnus Anderson leads the way here tonight to Austin Cole, is we're going to put some pressure back on the debutant as well. And what a way, let's just say this as it is, right? What a way just to big dick the field on debut if you were to win your first race. Ultimately, like, what a way to do it. If he were to win his very first race in the series, like, yes, I'm here, I have arrived.
Yeah, and a paint scheme that,
100% win, right?
scheme that Ryan Hatch made him, and as we get another yellow out there.
Yeah, and there's a couple of cars, I think it was Ryan Hatch again, who's gone round, and he is not having a fun night.
No.
And I think
this is a long night.
Eventually this is going to crack him as he self-cleared up into, I think that there was Marotta.
Yeah, it's Damon there. It kind of comes down into him a little bit. Yeah, that makes for a long night.
Paul looked like he almost wanted to give him a little kiss on the way through.
A little bit.
Well, we know.
Yeah, you can tell by him burning out there. Yeah, it's getting to him a little bit.
Yeah, he eventually may give in and just pull in a pit lane and say that's enough for me. So
I wouldn't fault him.
No.
Yeah, but I'm proud of him. As an admin for the league, I'm proud of him for staying with it and trying to make the most of it. I wouldn't fault him at this point. I'd probably out bat drinking a 40 and smoking a cigarette.
Oh, he's had another moment trying to come into pit road.
Yeah, it's just frustration right there.
I was just going to say he is still on the lead lap at the moment, but he may go down now. What's happened to you?
He's...
Yeah,
He must have thought he was on the other pit road.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a tricky thing at this track for people who don't know is tonight we don't have to really worry about it, but if we had a few more cars, we would have to worry about the dual pit roads, where the front stretch and the back stretch pit roads entries, and that does confuse some guys at times because all the pit stuff still loads in. So if you don't really pay attention and you know, who's faulting Hatch for not really paying all the most attention, you'll think the front stretch is the back stretch pit and make that mistake. But luckily, it doesn't look like he did any damage. Was able to kind of reverse it and get in there. We'll see if race control has a problem with that, but no harm, no foul, really. So I don't necessarily think they should.
Yeah, and he's been able to keep it onto the lead lap, it looks like, too. So that's a great effort from him. especially after all the unfortunate incidents he's been in. To be on the lead lap at this point is a brilliant effort.
Well, it proves the point of just try and stay in as best you can. And as we said earlier on, if he can keep it clean to the end of this race, if he gets a result out of this, I mean, could he ever have a better result if he gets a top 3 out of this race after everything he's been through?
Anything to me, anything in the top 10, I think, is a fantastic night at this point for him. I'd be thrilled with that after all the adversity he's gone through. If it were me personally, and that is the one thing I do love about our season standings format this year as we get ready to go green is we don't have a playoff system, we don't have a chase. Now next year will be a little different. We will have a chase next year, which will kind of keep a lot more guys into it. But you have to maximize your points, like I said earlier. Calling it quits when you're kind of within striking distance of a points lead. You have to stay out there and try and just turn as many laps as you possibly can.
I think as well. No, as Brannon's gone round. Oh no. Well, I think as well that the mentality for Hatchie as well, if he's getting into instances, coming back in here to try and fix his car, possibly no, he's not. Okay, it's lying to me. I think the mentality is, obviously, we've just proof in the pudding here. Anyone can get involved in an incident tonight. If he can just stay in it and keep pushing on, he may luck his way back up the front. By just staying in it. This is what's happened with Brannon and Kern, so it's a bit of Toyota on Toyota action. So see how this has occurred. Oh,
Kern just kind of wall rides that a little bit. He got a little too tight up there in that turn and just smacked that wall, and unfortunately came down to Bailey. Just a bad little luck moment there for Bailey, but like we said, we've seen that a lot with Bailey, where he's up there leading and contending, and then something that's out of his control will go and kind of mess him up. It's he's just got to calm himself, which we know Bailey may not be the best at times, but he's just got to calm himself and realize that he's still in it. He's okay. We still got a lot of racing to go, and just keep pedaling away.
He's in pit lane now. He's actually not using the fast repair. He's trying to just repair the optionals in pit lane, it seems. He's trying to exit now. Hopefully he can actually, I think he has now gone a lap down the race leader. Oh no, he's going to come out of pit lane ahead of them still, so he'll remain on the lead lap.
He got it just in time. Yep, he got it just in time. And that is the unique thing here about Bristol, is realistically, he could go right into the backstretch pit and just kind of cruise around and go right back into the front stretch pit. Now, with the field being a little bit smaller tonight, it may not be the smartest thing, but that is a good strategy if you are somebody that needs to do quick repairs under pace laps. Just stay down and keep kind of plugging them away.
It was 26.63 seconds for his last stop, so would that have cleared them all? I don't know if it would have.
I mean, iRacing's weird in the sense that depending on the track, the damage is kind of different everywhere you go. So a place like Talladega or Daytona or Atlanta, even a minor bump into the wall or another car is really going to give you a lot of time because of the aero damage. Here, iRacing kind of makes it so that the body damage isn't as severe. In the sense that it's a mandatory pit stop time and repair that damage. It's going to be the optional damage that is going to absolutely affect your handling that you have to get down.
Well, green flag once again here at Bristol. We're to the second stage of this race. And actually, I just realised stated that the second stage is 180 laps. That was my mistake. 51 of 90 for the second stage. Towards the end of this race, we're only just under the halfway point now, 50% of the way through, as Magnus Anderson is controlling the back end of this one, and will try and take home a stage win in the second stage of this race at this point too. Will Kern, by the way, was found at fault for that incident, so he was given an end of line previously. So that's put him a lap down now on the race leaders. Anderson's got some great pace at this stage of the race, though.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I think maybe first stage he was just kind of petering out a little bit, feeling the waters slightly. And
yeah, so I got to talk to Magnus, last night and a lot today to kind of get to know him. He's a friend of Ryan Hatch, was highly recommended by Hatchie. So we decided to let him in, see how he does, go on from here and see if he's going to stick around. As of right now, man, I don't see why he's not going to stick around. He's got some great pace tonight. He was a little worried because he hasn't ran Bristol in a while, so he really got in there and was practicing quite a bit yesterday and today. I'm very, very impressed and very excited to see how this is going for him tonight. I love seeing this.
Well, based on the livery alone, Jack, as we get another caution here, and it's Charles Rinker who's been involved. He's been spun round up against the wall. I was about to say, for Magnus, for the livery wise, that Jack Oz could be a favourite driver if our good old friend Ash Oz watches, being that it's a Velo livery.
Yeah, definitely. He loves his upper deckers, so I could see that happening.
Yeah, I got 2 in right now, so.
Mine are in the draw. They're not Velos though. They're classic meme of sins, but yes. There's Austin calling.
Let me know when you want to graduate. I'll send you. Let me know when you want to graduate to a real man pouch, and I'll send you some.
They'll probably get pulled in at TSA, but who knows?
I know a guy who can get them to you. He might swim a little bit.
Oh, I see. Yes, and someone who knows all about swimming.
Yeah. There's a lot of frog stuff from what I've
of course.
been told by him. Yeah.
I heard that he's an Olympic swimmer in sand dunes as well.
Yeah. So this guy just kind of shows up randomly here and just rambles on about dunes and conspiracy theories. It's very odd. It's very, very odd.
Honestly, I don't know how this has happened, and it's gone cross-channel now at this point as well, and I don't know how it's happening. It's almost like a I'm trying to think of the word. It's like a poltergeist, ultimately. Like he
will ramble. Yeah, he rambles a lot about being like an interdimensional species. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. He just shows up at the most inopportune times. At this point, he's just a member of the family.
You have to welcome him with arms wide open, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see though.
He does take me higher.
Oh well, yeah. He's left me down to one last breath at some points.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I wish he would get 6 feet from the edge of my house, my property line.
It's his creed, I suppose.
Yeah, he peeks through the windows. It's very odd.
Yeah.
That's a difficult sacrifice, I reckon.
Yeah, it's gonna be really torn.
Ladies and gentlemen, please tune in next week. I don't know where else you're going to get this kind of hard-hitting commentary in iRacing leagues. I truly, what other broadcasting network is going to give you just dad jokes?
Just the worst
and
Creed references ever.
Yeah. If you're not watching, you're not subscribed.
I'll tell you which
that's
channel
on you.
will. I'll tell you, it's this one that will.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Hit that notification icon. We're here weekly. You're not going to get this kind of quality commentating anywhere else.
And you get 3 different series on the channel, which are 3 different sort of race types. I mean, obviously you get the NASCAR stuff here from High Side. Get your American Freedom, Bud Light, and everything like that.
The only kind of driving that there should be. I don't believe in right turns.
You get your Porsche Cup action, which for Australian viewers is later this evening. And then on Saturdays in Australia.
Oh!
That's a big one there. Was that Will Kern again? No, it wasn't. It was someone else. I think it was Paul. It was Paul.
It was Paul.
And on the weekends, you get V8 Supercars action. Oh my god, he just got
Ball
loose.
just got
off
loose
the
coming
wall.
out. Yep, and he gunned that a little bit too much out of that turn and lost the rear end under him.
I think we were a bit off with our predictions for how many cautions we were going to get tonight.
Still right
Just a
about
little
what
bit.
I thought. It's a tough track, you know, and you know, not taking anything away from these guys. I think we all kind of expected that. It's a tough track. I'd love to see anybody come out in these Gen 6 cars. We got a little bit of fakery going on. Magnus trying to bait guys into going to that pit. But it's a tough track. These Gen 6 cars got a lot of power under them. This isn't your average everyday run-of-the-mill, anybody can run a truck series. You've actually got to drive these cars. So, you know, the fact that minus, you know, the stage, you know, we're 10 cautions, I'm still proud of these guys. You know, they're having some good runs. They're keeping it clean. Just got to kind of settle down a little bit and focus and really hit your marks. And I think they'll be okay.
Well, at this stage, we're arguably averaging a caution without the stage end. We're averaging a caution every 14 laps. That's not too bad. You know, 14-lap green flag run at Bristol. That's a pretty good deal. There's been plenty of Bristol races where you average a caution every 5 or 6 laps.
It's
so,
just,
you know,
I mean, I've been in official races, Bristol. You know, I did the Sharpie 500 last year, or whatever they call it now, the 500 lapper. I was third, 25 laps down. That's how many damn cautions we had. So, you know, it's just like I said, it's Bristol is a tough track. It'll bite you if you let it. Any sort, like you said earlier, you don't get any time to rest. Because once you're out of a turn, you're immediately setting yourself up for the next turns. You just don't get any recovery time unless you're under caution.
I think really that, you know, the endurance factor of actually keeping your mind and body in check, and, you know, depending on the weather of where you're living as well, that could also play a factor too of if it's warm or if it's too cold, or if it's, you know, like there's a lot of factors at play that can affect how drivers are running and affect how they're running as well. All throughout the race, it's not as easy as just sitting back and cruising around a 1.5 mile circuit. It's half a mile. Like, you are on it, you know, every single lap.
And we really built this schedule this year, and we decided to make, you know, Indy and Bristol our 2 long races for the year to test guys. And that's one thing I'm very proud of, is we're not scared to make these guys race. As you see, McKellar did a little slipper right there. But, yeah, we're not afraid to throw in some tough tracks. You know, like you kind of hinted at the schedule for next year. We've added some short tracks. We're adding, I believe, at least 1, maybe 2 more road courses to really test guys. So we're not just running 1.5 mile races, you know, 50 laps, and that's it. We call it a day. You know, we're testing these guys. Whoever wins this title, they're going to earn it, and that's the thing I'm most proud about in this league.
I think, you know, that those are the best championships you can win. You know, is when you can earn it, Jack, and that almost makes the title feel more special when you can earn it. You know, it's not necessarily handed to you by other drivers' mistakes or by, you know, having tracks that you ultimately are better at than everyone else. Having a diverse calendar and diverse racing schedule in terms of track types, it means that when you do earn it, you felt like you've earned it, and you felt like you have withstood just a barrage of pressure throughout the season.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of those things. Oh, we've just seen McKellar turn around.
Oh! That's a big one right there. McKellar and Call.
Oh, I think you just self-cleared up in the call.
Yeah, a little bit there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's very unfortunate to see, is those two coming together. They had a really good run up to that point. But yeah, as you was mentioning before, Hamish, you wanna earn that championship. You don't want to be given it. It feels much more rewarding, and hats off to all of the admins for this series for putting together the calendar that they have. It tests drivers and it brings out the best in everyone, and it just pushes people to do better, and it's great to see.
And to kind of piggyback off that, Jack, that's the big thing that, I tell Mike and CJ and Bailey this, every week. I'm very proud of. We've had some attrition and guys leave or for whatever reason, but the guys that are sticking around and staying, they're getting better every week, myself included. When you race with the best guys that you can find, you get better yourself. That whole adage that iron sharpens iron. As we see Magnus trying to fake people out again, I like that. I like the tenacity of him right there. But like I said, like iron sharpens iron, and you're forced to get better. And like I said, these races that we set up weekly, and that's what we try to do, is have a good place for guys to come in and race and be competitive. Because at the end of the day, why are you iRacing if you're not trying to be competitive and win and maximize yourself? So it's very impressive to see somebody like Austin Call, who a lot of us didn't know before the season, come in and just put on a masterclass of great driving. So I'm very proud of it. I know the other guys are too, Mike and CJ and Bailey. They're very proud of it too. I'm very proud of them, and fortunate that those guys, brought me into it. And we've got a good group of people, Jack and you included in that. And it's just, I think these last, 4 weeks or whatever, I think they're going to be hell of a races. I think we're going to be putting on a good show for a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. It's great to see, and the amount of improvement I've seen over just this season alone from a lot of the guys in this league it's great to see. It just brings out the best, and everyone wants to compete. They want to better improve themselves, and I love to see that.
Well, pace truck's in. Green flag's about to get flown once again. We're lap 77 of 90 for stage 2. 167 of 300. We're past the halfway point of this race. As we push on once again, Magnus Anderson. He's not come into pit lane yet ever since the stage break. He has stayed out the whole time, and I think with these cautions he's hoping to maybe make the stage end without having to come through pit road, and if he can, well, sticking to his guns and sticking outside the pit road has only helped him along the way. But Austin Cole's done the same thing. Both of them have not come in. And if they do need to pit, as Mike Rinker gets loose and just into the wall, keeps going though.
Had a bad moment with Bailey there.
Yeah. Could have blown up if they weren't careful.
Trey Jones plugging away there.
Really good job tonight, Trey. Shout out.
Yeah, I'm very, very impressed with him. Shout out to Trey and his mom Natasha, I know, is watching. Hey, Natasha.
For Magnus Anderson, super impressive tonight, the way that he's gone about his business in the race. We are down another driver now, as Paul Harris, I believe, is out after his meatball flag. So we're down to 17 left in this one. Trey Martin has stayed in pit lane for the last half an hour though, but I would say his race is done since he's done that.
Yeah, I believe he might be helping out with race control or something. I saw he became an admin in the session, so.
I believe he is helping with race control. 2 has been given an ELL penalty as well previously for the incident with the 18 of Austin Cole, so that's not going to help Will McKellar in any way here tonight, as Pruitt continues to battle here with his, try and work with his teammate in Mr. Robert Stevens, and I believe Damon Marotta's also their teammate as well. So these three guys trying to work together here to fight their way forward.
Damon's our kind of unofficial 5th team member. It's me, Cody, Robert, and Nate Owen, who hasn't been able to be on track with us the last few weeks because of work. Shout out Nate, miss you, can't wait for you to get back. But Damon's always in there with us. So he's always running with us. I wish I could have him on that team with us as a 5th guy, but we have the four-member requirements. As we see Bailey charging up, Posey taking over that lead, and Bailey's kind of going with him, slide dropping that a little bit.
He's managed to get himself up now to P2 as Anderson's been put under pressure here from Rinker. Kevin Winker now up to P3 as well, so pressure has changed at the top end of town as everyone is just trying to keep themselves in check towards the end of this stage. We've got 2 to go in stage 2. Make it 1 to go when they cross the strike, and ultimately this has worked out well for Kareen and Brennan, and with Call so far back in the top 10, this is also going to help Kevin Winker, who effectively, by leading a lap earlier on, got himself 5th place in the stage by doing so in terms of the points that he got. And right now in P3, could get himself some quality points on the board leading into the final stage of this race.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, just silently working his way up there as we get another caution, it looks like.
And it's the stage end at this point, so...
I'm terrible at this. Yeah,
That's okay.
I'm not doing good paying attention to that.
That's okay.
You were supposed to help me here, Hamish, and
I did say that we had 1 to go in the stage. And the caution gets automatically thrown.
I may not be a smart man. I don't know what laps are, okay?
You just drive in circles and hope for the best.
That's my God-given talent, is just going left. Yeah, and praying for the best.
So we'll see now as
The
drivers
American
coming
way.
to pit road. The absolutely American way.
Yeah.
Avoid paying an extra on your bills, and try and get through it as best you can without making it too obvious, I suppose.
Yeah, if you're not cheating on your taxes and cheating up these cars, what the hell's the point? At least I'm not out here hitting kangaroos.
Never hit a kangaroo in my life.
Well, you have that risk more than I do. If I hit a kangaroo, I'm drunk at the zoo.
It would take a special kind of American to do that.
Hey, I've seen those videos you guys do, and I could take one, I think.
Coming up next week, Zach versus the kangaroo.
Yeah.
The halftime show special.
It's just Zach having a punch on with a Skippy plushie.
Yeah.
It realistically, it's probably just like a woman pushing a baby in a stroller, and I just confuse it for a kangaroo. These things happen with me.
What an adventure!
You've been there, Hamish.
What an adventure!
It's like if you could put like a GoPro in my head, certain moments of my life, it'd be like those YouTube videos you see of babies stealing their parents' camera phones and stuff.
So stage 2 comes to an end. Stage 3 about to begin.
Yeah, so McKellar stayed out, so then he can get his lap back. That was pretty smart. Now he's back onto the lead lap. I'm sure he'll probably want to come in at the end of the lap, maybe to have a little stop.
I would say so. Yeah, just swiftly moving past the comments that Zach's going to have a hallucinatory assault.
He's going to have a journey.
An absolute journey.
I'm not ashamed of me. I don't know why you guys are. I thought you were my friends.
We are.
Yeah, I don't feel it. That's all I know. I don't feel it. But back. No. We want to pay attention to racing. That's fine. That's.
I want the YouTube video of it happening. That's what
I feel you, Joe.
Oh, Austin Cole getting loose off of turn 2 there as they continue around. We have got 114 laps to go here at Bristol before the checkered flag comes out tonight, and then we crown king of the short track. We've got one more coming up this season when we head out to Iowa in the second to last round, but realistically, it's not a real short track, is it?
It's
basically a mile
Richmond. It is a short track in the sense that it's I think it's a hair under or just at a mile. If you're not familiar with Iowa, Rusty Wallace, the number 2 driver in NASCAR for many years, the Miller Lite car, that was kind of his brainchild. He was a huge fan, had a lot of success at Richmond, and for whatever damn reason, he decided to build essentially mini Richmond in a cornfield. Not too sure why, but it's a very Richmond-esque track. Drives a little bit different, but not too much. It's a short track. You give the short tracks their credit.
Visually, they are the same. It is
visually.
Like, it is like corporate wants you to find the differences between these two pictures. They're the same picture.
Yeah, but they do inherently drive different. It's a little bit different banking. Speeds are a little bit different. It's a fun track. Give your short tracks their damn dues. I'm not going to stand for this.
Oh, I give short tracks their dues, but a lot of them.
We got crown.
In the take it or leave
short
it.
king.
Well, that's true. Right now, it would be Jack. A little short king out there.
Yeah, come on.
What's that? I couldn't hear you over the desk.
Mr. 5'7".
That's
Hey,
perfectly good
5'8". Leave it alone.
Not everybody can be a specimen at 6'1" like me.
Or like me at 6'4".
Yeah, you're just a giant.
Yeah, I don't. I've never actually seen your feet and legs, so I don't know if that's actually true.
Well, unfortunately, that you can only see them by paying a premium.
Well, I'm subscribed after this race.
Only commentators.
It's the part of the members portal of Infinity Broadcasting.
Yeah, we should start a Patreon, do like a sexy calendar.
Every month it'd just be Bailey in a cat suit.
People will pay us to not make that.
Yeah, as long as the money rolls in, I don't care. I'll put on a risque race suit if it earns us some money. Oh! Mike Rinker and Austin Paul getting a little tangled up there. Mike's plugging away. You know, we saw Mike 2 laps down at one point. Him and Trey kind of moving their way up. Like I said, Rinker has that ability where he will just come out of nowhere on you.
Well, we can see that Rinker and Cole, as you're right on board here with Jones, nearly hooking each other up there through, I believe that was through turn 4 as they came onto the main straight. So they nearly had it coming together, which could have ended in absolute tears for both drivers. And ultimately, for both of them, they've got to keep it clean because they are effectively the top 2 in the championship right now.
Yep. Mike's got to manage his aggression a little bit. You know, we've seen Mike make some very aggressive moves, some aggressive blocks, like you see right there. So he's not afraid to put that car in risky spots to hope it pays off. He's a high risk, high reward kind of guy, which I love about him. But he's got to be smart, play it smart here. He's got to see the bigger picture at this point.
Bigger picture is survive Bristol and head out to the tricky triangle in a few weeks and head out to Old Atlanta next week and really maximise on your next 2 rounds. And then focus up for the final 3 rounds as well, where you've got to try and just try and take as many points as you can out of them. And I think if you were coming into last week in Indy and tonight at Bristol, really putting an onus on getting stage points, because bonus points can always be a massive factor in your championship run.
100%.
And maximising on the fact that you've got 2 stages worth of points in this week and last week, and then also the race points too. You've got an opportunity to get yourself an extra, 10 points over what you could possibly get at a regular round.
Sorry to interrupt, but Bailey's got a meatball.
He does have a meatball.
That's a big blow right there. I wonder if he maybe smacked the wall.
It looks like there's damage on the right side, so he might have hit the wall.
He's got that fast repair. Yeah, you can see that right front just bowed in. Looks like he used that fast repair. Yep.
It just got popped out. So. That's unfortunate, though. It means is he going to go a lap down?
Just trying to trying to see where it may have happened. So he hits the wall there, but
He's already got the damage
yeah, it
there.
doesn't look like a heavy enough hit that it would do it.
Maybe it's just like an accumulation over a period of time.
Yeah, if you smack that wall over and over, it's eventually gonna.
Oh, that's where he did.
Oh,
there.
right there.
it
There it was.
Yeah.
Yep, right there. Yeah, it got tight on him in that turn. He pushed it a little bit too much, and there it was.
A lap down on the race leader, so
He's still in it though. He's still in it. Got a
Yeah,
lot
still-
of racing to go.
Still over 90 laps to go, so plenty of time to make it back up.
plenty of time. Short 91.
It's still
laps
early
left.
doors, Hamish.
No, very early doors, Jack, and they're still knocking on the opportunity at points, just like a missionary knocking on your door to annoy you with a message. But I suppose the thing that's annoying for some drivers out inside who's not maximising on their points, i.e. Paul Harris, who's already out of this race. Everyone else though trying to stay in it, as Brannon is at risk of going a lap under Damon Marotta now. This would be down to P10 he would be a lap down on, but he's got the pace to keep pushing on. He's trying to stay in this race and maximise his points, and 88 laps to go. He needs some big cautions here to try and keep himself in it. We haven't had a caution since the stage break, so they've cleaned it up here in the last 30 laps or so.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just keeping it clean. I know we saw Bailey smack the wall there. That's stuff like that's going to happen, but giving each other space and just trying to get this thing to go green and really just get the hell off this track. These guys are, I'm sure, frustrated, and they're done at this point. So taking laps down and just trying to get out of here as clean as possible.
As we see, Vaughan's got turned around. It
Yes.
seems like he was maybe going a little slow on the outside. Got collected by somebody.
As Robert Stevens has made contact with
Yeah,
him in the
looks like
6-7 entry.
Roberts just got into him a little bit. Yep.
So the 3-2 gets turned by the 6-7 in the Miller Lite car of Rob Stevens, and may possibly be. Let's just go back here and just try and see here. So, it looks like he's kind of self-cleared down as Stevens' cars come through the corner.
You're just looking for every excuse to make a 6-7 joke. I know it.
Yeah, as soon as you said 3-2, I knew what was coming.
Yeah. I'm like I said, I know I know your jokes and jibs now.
I pulled it out twice in a matter of 20 seconds. So.
I can only ignore it for so long. I've got a 15-year-old. I know better.
I want you to know I did the hand gesture at the same time.
I know you did. I could feel it through the airwaves.
Could feel it burning.
Yeah. It's that dad instinct I have in me. I know.
It's like whenever the thermostat's touched.
Oh, it's just irate.
As soon as you put your hand on it, not even adjust it, as soon as you go to put your hand on it, don't touch the thermostat.
Yeah. You're definitely a guy that was yelled at for not holding the flashlight on an engine properly before. I know it.
Because I would see.
Unfortunately, I wasn't.
It's because I would see something more interesting than an engine.
Nothing more interesting than an engine.
No, I mean like at the time, like it's just, trying to do up a bolt, and I see a ladybug or something, and I'm just like, ooh, ladybug. And I have to move the torch back and get a clip over my ear. So what temperature do you keep your thermostat at, Zach, at your house?
I don't even want to say it.
Is it 6-7?
It is actually 6-7.
Oh my god, I knew it!
Oh my god.
See, you complain
Not
about
happy I
my
had to admit
references,
that.
but you are leaving the reference.
Well, you pay these damn American energy costs, and you come talk to me about going up to 68 or 69.
69 would be worth the meme at least.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should. I want you to. I really want that to hammer home to you tonight.
I suppose you can always rug up, but you can't really strip off too far.
I mean, you can, but it's just not acceptable.
No.
Oh,
81.
there's wheel spin for a
laps to
posy
go.
there.
Yeah, big wheel spin for a posy. And I think that's the struggle is every time we go into caution, temp starts to go to the tyres just a little bit, and that starts to wear them out just slightly as they keep on pushing on.
Oh, we're under caution. Big crash in the back.
Oh,
Oh, Hatch has just
it's
been put
Hatch
into
again.
the. It's just been put into the water barrels.
Oh, contact with Marauder.
Yep, just slid up and
There was secondary contact too, which put him into the
Oh.
barrels there.
Mercereau getting into the tail end of that. Winker doing a hell of a job of trying to
Adding a
stay
little
out
bit
of that.
insult to injury there.
Yeah, I don't think Winker got into it. I think he did a good job checking up and not arc breaking into that.
Yeah, Trey Jones got through there pretty good as well. He barely missed that.
Say cautions breed cautions, and when you tighten the whole field back up again, that's when it starts to come alive, and it's almost like the pace truck just, froths at the mouth to get back out on circuit. Guess
See
I wanna-
Billy Brandon
yeah, back on the
going
lead
around
lap
getting
now.
that lucky dog. Yep, yep.
You reckon the pace truck will do more laps than Trey Martin tonight?
I can tell you how many
I-
laps it's
I
done
think
on this
I-
stage. It's done 59
I think
laps at this
Trey.
point.
Yeah, I think Trey actually does double duty and drives the truck as well. I think he's commandeered that thing.
He's definitely taken a hold of the wheel. Now we've got
I would drive a pace truck.
roughly 75 laps to go when we get to green. It's probably still a little bit too early to pit now and make it home, I would argue. Probably need to wait another 10 laps or so maybe, and then, then we get into territory of making it home.
Yeah, I'd say 10 to 15. I don't think you want to, really push yourself too much to. It's like I said, it's the tires. So if you've been smart with your tires, hopefully you have a set or two left. Anything more than 55 to 60 laps, I think is just too much for these tires to handle, and it's just not going to be a good time for you. You're going to lose so much pace.
Somehow, and I don't know how, Ryan Hatch has remained on the lead lap still. I don't know how this has happened.
It's sheer American will and determination. These killers don't run, sir.
Well, as a man who definitely looks like he definitely works at a Costco or a Walmart, I suppose he is living the American dream right now.
Yeah.
Green flag
He's living
flies
some
once
dream.
again. 76 laps to go at Bristol. Lap 225 of 300 here this evening. And for Anderson, he's trying to survive at the top end. It's another incident. This time it's Charles Rinker who's gone into it with Hatch again. At this point, all you can do is laugh. A bit of arc braking ahead of them. Hatch
They
loses
check
it.
up.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor Charles.
It's just that. Yeah.
Nowhere to go for CJ, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just that damage is just compounding itself on Hatch's car, and his stability is, and then handling's gone. There's only so much you can do without trying to go a lap down now.
He already had an ELL, and now he's just struggling out there. Unfortunately for Ryan, he's trying to maximize his points, but this could easily drop him, below the top 5 after a performance like this tonight. I mean,
This should put McKellar back on the lead lap
I
after all that.
think it
I
might.
believe
He's
so.
got
I
the
think
lucky
so,
dog.
yeah. So it means
And
that
we know the kind of speed that he's had tonight, so
great pace, just poor luck. It's sort of in that middle stage there, Zach. It didn't really go his way, and that's what trapped him a lap down for so long. he'll get his wave around.
Yeah, but
and he should be able to get back into it.
Yeah, he's done a good job though of staying out of trouble and just kind of biding his time. So I mean,
although it looks like Vaughn's been given the lucky dog, so maybe Hatch, maybe McKellar got a an incident point or something, trying to avoid the incident.
He could have got caught up. I'm not sure.
Very, very weird one. We've lost
But I mean,
3
if
drivers
you're-
thus far as well. Marotter's now out.
Yeah.
Harris is back in the session and in pit lane, by the way, but he's sat there now for 30 minutes. Of course, Teddy Martin's gone into race control, so that's why he's out of the race thus far. Mercer is 3 laps down the race lead. Mike Rinker and Magnus Anderson will be on the front row for this restart.
If you're Magnus though, this is exactly what you want to see. You're saving fuel, you're saving tires. You're more than happy to just keep plugging away under yellow.
It's only going to help him in the long run. And he's not going to make it home from here, but this is this is only helping him, and he's shown great pace tonight. That if this can continue to help him like this, then he very well may end up out there and end up possibly as a race winner in his first outing here in High Side Motorsports. Green flag once again. 71 laps to go. Probably 10 laps away from critical lap in terms of pitting for fuel and tyres to the end of this race. You may find that some drivers go a bit longer because they've already pitted on 217 or 216 on some previous cautions. So it's 226 for Hatch and Charles Rinker as well. But those front runners who came in on 182 on the last stage break, they will need to pit very shortly. Ultimately, Zach, they can make it to roughly lap 240, and then around about then they are going to have to come in. So it will split their race up just a touch.
Yeah, and you're like I said, you're hoping that you can go about 60 laps with the tires and the fuel. I'm not going to be naive and think we won't get another caution or two here, especially if we do get those green flag pit stops. We saw earlier how much chaos that really brings about on track. So, yes, that's probably the sweet spot that you're looking for. As we see Austin Call really putting the hammer down, trying to get back up there into that lead.
Of course, fresher tyres, fresh fuel on board. That number 18 M&M's entry as well. So he's taking advantage by getting a fresh set on that car, and that's given him a pace advantage now over the former race leader Michael Anderson. Kearns in the same position. Came on 216. Trey Jones is in that position as well. And those lap 182 pit stoppers, well, they've been forced on the back foot a little bit, but I suppose the beauty is now for those who, if you're in Cole, Colonel Jones' positions, if there is a caution right on 240, you come in because you make it home on fuel. You may not take tyres, but ultimately you will actually benefit from that. And they've kind of got a free pit stop out of this now, which is giving them a better run to the critical lap, and it's going to give them better track position as they come out of pit lane on the final stop of this race.
100%. It's a little bit of strategy is going to be involved here. Is when are you going to go in and top off, and when do you feel comfortable about how much you can go if this does possibly go green the rest of the way. So it's going to be interesting to see here in a few laps.
See Brannon and Hatch battling for position. I don't know how Hatch has remained on the lead lap.
That's absolutely
insane.
And just kind of coming up the track too. I don't know how the hell he's done this. This is impressive.
Somehow stayed in that. Somehow has remained in this fight throughout the whole race. And I suppose, Jack, it's a good tale of just stick to it. You don't know where you're going to end up if you get into an early incident or multiple incidents like Ryan has. There is always opportunity to get back into it, and you never know what's going to happen in the race.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's just a tale of perseverance and trying to push through no matter how bad it really is and what's happened. You just keep pushing on, keep trying. As he's pulled over.
That's weird.
Did you put the commentator's curse on in, Hamish?
No, I don't know. I don't know why he's pulled over. It looks like he's
Oh, he
about
has
to
a
come in.
meatball flag.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the tires went out on him? That's the only thing I can think of is maybe that damage is still there and it's causing so much wear for those tires
he's coming to the back stretch pit lane. He's in the wrong pit lane. He just had to tow back to pits. How has this happened to Ryan Hatch? Let's try and see this here. So he's battling with Brannon. So maybe, surely he hasn't money shifted. Surely not.
I didn't see any smoke coming out of that car, so I don't think so. Realistically, there should be, your hand should be off that shifter, hopefully.
Well, what it is an end to a really tough night for Ryan Hatch, but he can hold his head high in the adversity and the tenacity that he's tried to overcome tonight's struggles and pressures that's been applied to him. We're just following him here for his last few laps because I just want to see on board what may have happened if there was something that happened with that car. Oh, he blew up. So Harris has said he's blown up apparently. So
maybe he had, if he's blown up, because it doesn't look like he shifts at all. My guess is maybe the damage. Yeah, the car overheated and it finally went.
Well, just seeing as well.
That's one thing that a lot of guys don't think about is if you're getting front end damage, the car, the radiator and all that stuff is going to have damage, and you've got to really pay attention to that if it's not one of your either overlays or one of your black boxes that you have up on your screen on your end. So it very well maybe is something.
A weird one here as well is Rinker and Mercer have got meatballs, but neither of them have been involved in an incident. They actually haven't towed back to pits. They've driven into pit lane. So I wonder if they've also had some overheating issues on board those cars.
Yeah, well, you can see the tiramisu there when he was in the lane. If you go back to him, you'll see that the it's smoking, so he must have had engine damage of some sort.
Yeah.
Don't know where he's gotten it from, but yeah, that's a weird one. Both of them ending up with meatballs.
Very, very weird one tonight. Since he is in pit lane, we might just drag Mr. Hatch in here just to ask him what's happened. Hello, Ryan. Welcome in. Just thought we'd drag you in. Dude, what a tough race for you, man. I mean, number one, we want to take our hats off to you for being so tenacious and continuing to push on across such a tough night. We just wanted to confirm how you've actually ended up with that meatball. Was that an overheating issue that's giving you the meatball?
Yeah, I looked down and I seen it at 303 and I tried shutting it off to try to get temp out of it, but it just kept climbing.
That's an absolute heartbreak for you, especially after such a tough night. Hopefully you can keep your chin up, knowing that you stayed in it for so long and you raced so hard to try and remain in it. You were doing such a good job, man, to stay on that lead lap. It's a real shame that's ended that way for you. But on to Atlanta next week. We hope that you can have a good result out of that one.
Yeah, man, it's just part of racing. I mean, I feel like, we don't get wrecked by a lap car early, and we're probably a race-winning capable car here.
Yeah, it's like Hamish said. Yeah, I'm real proud of you, dude, for staying in it. As many times we had to see you go around and just trouble finding you. Impressive job, absolutely impressive job. I could not be more proud of you for staying in that as long as you did. Tough break there with that overheating, but I'm absolutely proud of you, man.
Yeah, it's part of it. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks, Ryan. So what I've also noticed now as well is that Magnus Anderson and Mike Rinker have gone nearly 80 laps on this tank of fuel thanks to some cautions. They have gone a hell of a long way.
Yeah, and this is going to work out. Hopefully work out for them here sooner or later. I mean, they're going to have to pit. That fuel tank's only so full. We shorten the duration of how much fuel they actually can run. each race. So they're going to have to come in, but I mean, it's putting them ahead of schedule. I know they're dropping a little bit, but you know, you're within striking distance there. It's impressive that they've gone on this long, especially with the tires.
Yeah, somehow they've they've managed these tires well. They've managed the fuel well too. Ultimately, though, I suppose it greens in. The problem now is, Jack, if they come in under a green flag and then they get a caution, they're going to be trapped a lap down, and this work's going to be for nothing. Ultimately, they need a caution to kind of get the free pit stop done.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a tough one, really, to figure out where you come in and how long they can go for, really, since they've extended the tank for so long. It's quite miraculous, really, when you think about it.
It seriously is. I mean, I don't know how they've pushed the tank out this far, but the way that they've done it has been very impressive. Will Kern is now the race leader. He's about 7 tenths ahead of Austin Cole. Mike Rinker in the pit lane now for his final stop in the race. I suppose the beauty is, can the runners who pitted on that 216 to 217, can they make it the whole way? Or will they need another stop to get home? If they do, it'll give a bit more onus on those drivers that are still to come in or are only just coming in now. If they don't need a stop, they've pulled off one hell of a strategy run here to get themselves up front.
Gone in the wall there a little bit.
Yeah, he's just it's a real struggle tonight, and I have to wonder how tired and how drained these drivers might be feeling at this point of the evening. I mean, it has been such a long race for them. Obviously they've got 30 laps to go when they cross the line, so they're nearly at the very end. But these 30 laps may feel like they take forever because they are so close to the end of this race, and it's been so long. These may be the longest 30 laps they've run all night.
Yeah, I mean, I think a common misconception with people who see people, who sim race is that it's a video game and it's easy. It's not easy. Hamish, you were with me the other night when I ran the 500. I was absolutely exhausted after that, after running 200 laps at Daytona. And I had ample opportunity to just kind of rest my arms and take a breather, here and there, especially when we were single file during that race when you were with me, that you don't get that option tonight. The force feedback on their wheels, it's wears you down. You're fighting that wheel all night. Your arms get tired. The monotony of running these laps here where you're braking and then speeding up just a little bit and then going right into another braking zone. It wears you down. Your arms get tired. Your focus starts, kind of slacking a little bit. So it's the guys that can kind of power through that and put that in the back of their head. That's the ones who are going to do the best tonight.
Well, for Cole, I think he's trying to fuel save right now because the gap's gotten out to around about 3 seconds here, Jack, up to Kern. Magnus Anderson's trying to fuel save to go 100 laps, it seems, because he's on 276. He last pitted on 182, so he's gone over 90 laps on this previous stint. He is really pushing this thing out.
Yeah, the only other thing I can think of is, I'm sorry, Jack. The only thing I can think of is maybe he used up all his tires. He doesn't have any left.
He's at real risk of going a lap down as well, because Kern's only a couple of car lengths back from.
Oh, Pruitt!
As we get
Cody off. Oh.
Well, that's the caution that Anderson needed. That's probably the perfect time that caution could have come out for Magnus Anderson. So he'll get a free pit stop. Will the front runners come in with him? That's the question. Do they need a stop, or can they make it home? As we get our 15th in race caution, 2 of the 17 were stage breaks. Will those front runners come in?
You'd think with 22 laps to go, when they come out of the caution, it'll be about 19 or so laps to go. do you come in, grab a set of tires, even if you don't need it for fuel, if you've saved a set of tires? Do you come in and get new tires and have the better grip? It seems like the leaders are all coming in.
So
Anderson
Rinker has
also
stayed
in.
out. Rinker has stayed out. Bailey has stayed out, although I think that's because he's getting his lucky dog, so we'll see if he comes in. Because I think he will need a stop. He last pitted on 205. He is, so Bailey's going to come in. So this late caution, and I think if you're a lap down and you've saved a set, I think you just come in, don't you? Take your tyres, take your fuel, get home.
Yeah, I think if you're a lap down or more and you're not going to get waved by or you're not going to get a lap back by staying out, then you may as well come in, take tyres, and see where you end up, because you could end up having another caution and then you would get a wave by, or you could maybe capitalize on the people that don't take tyres and then be able to make a couple of laps back by the end of it, maybe, with a discrepancy in tyre grip.
Well, I mean,
So it's
even
an
if
interesting one.
even if you're a lap or two down, I think you do, just based on the fact that, you know, we've had, 15 true cautions here tonight. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have one or two more. So you're a lap down, you're 2 laps down, you go and kind of jump the issue and get that last set of tires in if you got them, or fuel up, and we get a couple more cautions and you're right back into this thing, and you're kind of jumping everybody else when it comes to tire usage. So not a terrible idea.
So Kevin Rinker will have control of the field off this restart. He's opted to stay out under this caution. Problem now is he's at much older tyres compared to everybody else, so he may get buried alive here amongst the traffic and amongst the train, with Cole, Kern, Jones, Anderson and Brannon on a fresh set of rubber, fuel to the end. Green flag at Bristol, 18 laps to go. And you can see immediately the tyre advantage that those cars have. They have just gone by him like he's parked and standing still.
Yeah, and these guys behind him are going to have to be careful and realize they're going to have to be smart getting around him. He's going to be a little bit of a sitting duck here. So it's going to be, don't force it right now and just safely get around him.
So Cole and Kern battling at the front. Anderson has now been reinvigorated with a fresh set of tyres, but he's been put in the wall after a wiggle through turn 4 and then contact with Trey Jones. Magnus Anderson rides the wall. There's no caution that's been thrown. He needs one so he can come down pit road and get a free pit stop to get the fast repair applied. But that has dropped him down the order, and with no caution right now, he comes in. There's the caution. And I think he may have actually made contact there as he came down into pit lane.
Yeah, I don't think he realized until the last second that he didn't have steering there and got up in the Keith.
It's probably the one poor mistake that Magnus has made all night. Just turning down into Keith Vaughan, and has realised he has to come into pit lane late. Well, he's taking tyres and he's used his fast repair. Keith Vaughan's going to have to come in now. For Magnus, he's going to get an EOL because of that, because it was technically an unsafe pit entry.
Yeah, if he's not punished for, at the very least, punished for kind of not handling that car just a little bit better.
So Kevin Rinker has stayed out again, by the way. Oh no, now he's in. So he's into pit lane now. Keith Vaughan's in to fix his meatball flag. Magnus Anderson has got a lap down on the race leaders, so he needs another caution to get back onto the lead lap, because he can't get the lucky dog this time by, because he caused the caution, so he can't get one.
Yep, it looks like Kareen might have got the lucky dog. Can you just confirm that Bailey is still on track, because he keeps on getting a not in world for me? So maybe the Starlink blink is in full effect.
He is on track. He's P4 at the moment.
Yep, there he is.
Yep, just behind Mike Rinker and just ahead of Will McKellar, who are some lap cars. So they should get refiltered that he would actually get put up to the front of the pack, and those guys should get put to the behind the lead lap cars. Though he is blinking.
The Starlink blink.
Yep, the Starlink blink in full effect.
He must not have paid Elon this weekend.
Charles Rinker back in pit lane, by the way, with another meatball flag. Same with Mercero, who's been in there for 15 minutes now, just about. So for Rinker, again, I think this might be another overheating issue for him.
Yep, he's just cleared his meatball flag, so he's used his fast repair this time.
Well, no, he was in there for a minute, so I think he's actually just taken the required.
Okay.
Because I think he previously
Charles
used it on his last meatball.
Okay, Charles is just catching up to the back of the pack now, so he's out, he's back driving.
What is that on the bonnet of Austin Cole's car?
Hell's the bonnet? Is it a hood?
Yes.
Oh,
it's the top of an M&M.
It's a half. Yeah, it's a half.
A hazelnut bread.
Yeah.
It looked like a weird face you might have put on there.
There's only one guy I know that puts weird faces on the front of his car.
Yeah. It's our own Jack Anderson loves putting weird faces on the bottom of his car.
Oh, only you.
I've got a good head for a hood, what can I say? 10 to go at Bristol. Lap 291 of 300. Can Austin Cole win this race? Bailey Brannan is back in it as he is up into P2. Will Kern, Trey Jones, Kevin Rinker. If we get a pace car, Keith Vaughan will get the lucky dog. But with only 9
the
to
question
go,
to ask is, can Cole hold off Brannan? Because
Well, that's
Brannan looks
true.
like he got the pace right now.
well, he's yet to take a race win this season. Cole has taken multiple. It has been a season of ups and downs for Brannan. A season where he's had to represent his preferred University of Florida and the Florida Gators, and then obviously now running the Seminoles once again. But the blinking issues continue on. And wouldn't it be an absolute heartbreak if he got in the race lead and then his internet dropped with only a lap to go? How much of a heartbreak would that be for Brannan? He would be so close to a race win, but not quite close enough.
Why would you
wouldn't be
do the commentator's curse like that?
There wouldn't be a safe wall in that house. And he's reeling them in here. I mean, he's absolutely got some speed under it.
He's so fast. He's basically the DeLorean going back in time.
Hitting 88 miles an hour. He's ready to send himself back in time to Old Atlanta next week. So Austin Cole, the race leader, 4 laps to go. Brannan has only got 4 more laps, or 3.5 laps really, to get this job done and to get his first race win of the season. And it kind of gives the feeling and the onus that is this his only opportunity in the last part of this season to get himself a race win. 3 to go. Make it 2 to go when they cross the strike. And he's dropping time now to Cole, and he's running out of chances here to get this win.
Yeah, I think maybe he might have pushed a little too hard there on the exit of that corner. Unfortunately, now he's dropped. It's now 4.6 as we go to the final lap.
He's going to have a lap car to deal with, though, if Paul gets around Cody, but it doesn't look like it's going to be an issue.
Around turn 4 they come, and Austin Cole will survive the nightmare on Speedway Boulevard. He'll come out as the race winner. Brannan in P2, his best performance of the season. Kern on the podium as well. Ahead of Jones and Kevin Rinker for the top 5. Up 14 positions tonight was Kevin Rinker. What a drive. Anderson on debut in P6. That's still a fantastic effort. Vaughan, Kareen, McKellar, Rinker, Stamper, Stevens, Pruitt, Charles Rinker, Mercero, Hatch, Marotta, Harris, and Teddy Martin at the back end of the field. And the celebrations begin for Austin Cole as he wins another race and extends his championship lead. Heading back into the past for Old Atlanta next week.
Fantastic job by Cole. It's a we talked earlier at the beginning of this race about if when he faces adversity, how is he going to respond? We saw it tonight.
It was a top level performance from him, and what it means is well, he obviously extends his championship lead, puts himself into a solid position leading into the final 5 rounds of the season. And what it is pretty much maximum points tonight out of this race, which is a fantastic effort. First driver that we have in for the interviews here tonight is William Kern, who is about to catch up with our one, Zach Smathers, after his P3 finish.
Why would you put that on me, Hamish? Kern, how we doing, bud?
What's up, man?
Great job out there tonight. You got tangled up a few times and through the race, but really fought your way back up there to get that podium finish. Talk to me about that. Just what was your plan going into this, and how did you just kind of stay focused when you look like you're just kind of wrong place, wrong time there tonight?
Yeah, I mean, one of the wrecks actually had my wheel completely 90 degrees, and that's why I got into Bailey. I was slideways that whole time, just hoping for a caution or some more pit stops to finish fixing it and everything, which I did end up doing, but not before I took out Bailey. So it's and as far as a plan, it's Bristol, man. You can come in with a plan all you want, but it ain't gonna work out.
We saw you come back here, I believe last week, after being away for a little while. We're glad you're back. Impressive job tonight. This is 2 weeks, just tough tracks that we've been to, and great finishes from you. Talk a little bit about your thoughts about the rest of the season. You missed a little while, so you're probably out of it in terms of the season championship, but just try and do what you can, or win a race if possible. Where do you go from here?
Yeah, just pretty much getting some track time, man. Catching back up. I'm a little rusty since I was out of it there for a little while. Just some personal stuff going on. So I don't know. Let's see. I mean, I'm hoping to make it just about every other race we got on this season, and then I'm looking forward to next season making a run for the championship. But just because I'm out of the points doesn't mean I'm not here to have fun.
Well, I'd love to hear that. I'm glad you're back. I love racing with you, and can't wait to get back on track with you next week. And like I said, hell of a job, man. I'm real proud of you tonight. Great way to just keep plugging away and get that top 3. Good job, dude.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Look forward to next week. Thanks.
Yep. Yeah, have a good night, bud.
You too.
Next up, we have P2 on the road here this evening in Bailey Brannon, who, I'm going to throw him in the deep end at this point now, is chatting with one Jack Anderson.
Bailey, welcome to the commentary booth. Congratulations on P2. How did you find the race?
Very hectic, very chaotic. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of strategy that went into tonight. I've ran a 300 lap race here before, but I honestly forgot how long it is. It is grueling.
Yeah, I can imagine that the arms would be feeling sore tomorrow after this one.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, great job on P2 there. There was a couple of dicey moments, and good to see you come out on P2. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out?
At the moment right now, maybe just a Posey, for sticking with me throughout the race. I don't know what happened with Paul. That was unfortunate, and Joe didn't make it tonight, which is also unfortunate. But overall, really happy with the performance today. I think I finished second in the second stage. Got a good finish in the first stage, even though I got trapped a lap down pretty late there. I was able to come back, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but I barely beat out the pace truck coming off a pit road to stay on the lead lap after I got my lucky dog. Yeah, that was a nail biter. I was scared for my life. I was like, man, I'm going to be a lap down again. That's going to suck. But I had to take tires. There was no question about it.
Oh, brilliant run tonight, mate. And great haul of points, and you definitely deserve that belly rub.
Thank you. Looking forward to my belly rub.
I'll be there later for you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Bailey Brannon in P2 this evening, really earning his belly rub from a couple of husky men. What an image that's going to be planted into our brains. Next up, we have our race winner here tonight in Austin Cole. Austin, congratulations, race win tonight. Having to fight through a tough race, kept yourself clean, never went a lap down due to an incident, but you were getting chased down by Bailey there for the final 10 laps. What was the pressure like after such a long race to have him right on your tail chasing you down to the line? Oh, I'm sure there's buckets amount of sweat coming off you right now.
Pretty much, I just told myself that the only way Bailey's getting around me is if he somehow gets to my outside quarter panel or he's going through me. So I decided I was just going to wrap the yellow line and hope she came home in one piece, and he never got to my bumper, luckily, and it worked out.
Obviously a very strong run for you, not only tonight but this season. You extend your championship lead now, heading into Old Atlanta next week. How are you feeling going into that one? Because these next 5 races, they're going to be tough. It's going to take a certain level of driver to try and win this championship now with 5 rounds to go. Are you feeling confident not only for next week, but the final 5 rounds of the season, and how your performances may go across the next 5 rounds?
I feel pretty good about my speed at most of the tracks. Atlanta is usually a bit hit or miss for me. Pocono is probably my worst track left, but after that, I feel like I can win Charlotte and Iowa. So hopefully I can come out with the championship, but you really never know, especially since I'm pretty sure Mike is still pretty close to me. So like my entire goal with this race was just keep in front of Mike, because I know he was the one that was closest in the battle.
Well, P1 against P10 in the end of the race, so you gained good points on him in that finish. Unsure exactly about the stage points. Let's have a quick look here. So, stage 2, Mike beat you in stage 2 by 1 position. Stage 1, you got points in the stage, Mike didn't. So, ultimately, you gave up a couple of points, or a point in stage 2, and gained on him in the first stage, and then in the end of the race too. So you gained some good points over him. That's put a little bit more pressure on him now to try and perform over the next few weeks, taking a little bit of pressure off you. But I don't think it's going to be over until we get to the end of Charlotte. Ultimately, I think he's going to continue to be there. He's going to continue to push on. He's a strong driver across those 5 tracks. So it'll be interesting how that run goes to the end of the season. But Austin, a massive race win for yourself. Congratulations. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Trey Jones, thank you for letting me stay in your chat today. That was my teammate for the week, I guess. And then I got to thank my family. I had to reschedule a trip, so I was supposed to be on a plane right now, but something happened, so now I'm flying out tomorrow morning instead, so I got to race tonight. So thank you to my dad for switching that flight for me. And then thank you to my grandma for watching all these races. She sent me a congrats text a few minutes ago. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations, Austin. Thanks so much for coming and have a chat to us, and best of luck next week out at Atlanta.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, gentlemen, that'll bring an end to the broadcast this evening. Threw you in at the deep end there doing your interviews, but I think you both handled it pretty well. Quick sum up for us, Zach. How do you think that one went?
Chaos. But I think, like I said, I think a lot of us were expecting that. Bristol is tough. At the end of the day, Bristol is a tough track. It'll chew you up and spit you out. The guys that finished in that top 5 to top 10, just took what the track gave them. Bailey getting, second place there after, getting wrecked by Kern, and even Kern finished up there in the top 3. Absolutely impressive. You know, and a lot of guys showed a lot of fight tonight. Ryan Hatch, we saw, you know, just deal with incident after incident, but stayed in it. I know it didn't end well in the grand scheme of it for him, but you know, a lot of tenacity and a lot of just guts for a lot of these guys to stay in it and make the most of how this race went. Kevin Rinker up 14 spots. Kern up 6, Bailey up 5, Keith Vaughn sitting there finishing the top 10, Mike, you know, getting a top 10 out of there, 7 spots. You know, damn good job from all these guys, and I can't wait to get back on the track with them next week.
Now, Jack, how do we see Old Atlanta going next week? Because obviously it'll be me and you in the booth together again. How do we picture that one going? Because obviously Old Atlanta is very bumpy. A lot of drivers prefer Old Atlanta over New Atlanta. How do we see that one going out next week, knowing of what's happened tonight, but also what's happened in previous races at, you know, those 1.5 mile regular speedways compared to current Atlanta being a super speedway?
So for the race, I see it being really competitive. I can see a lot of really good battle packs happening. A lot of the drivers, as you said, have voiced that they do prefer the old Atlanta. They like how it drives and the challenge that it brings. So it should be good for that. For a commentary point of view, chaos.
I agree. I think absolute chaos from the booth.
I just want to shout out Hatch for his determination tonight.
Yep,
it's
100%.
It's really, really amazing to see how much effort he put in to keep on the lead lap after all the things that were thrown at him, essentially, to keep going, try and push and see what results he can get out of. You got to be proud of that.
It was an
Just
incredible
amazing
performance. Absolutely amazing for Ryan Hatch. So hats off to him. I know it didn't end the way he would have wanted it to, but he stayed in it and showed true tenacity and determination here this evening. But that will bring an end to our broadcast this evening for Round 10 of Season 1 of High Side Motorsports for the Nightmare on Speedway Boulevard 150 live here at Bristol Motor Speedway. A big shout out to all the series sponsors, including Rinker Construction Remodeling, Mattress by appointment in Fremont, Ohio. Call 419-407-6652. Blackheart Designs and us here at Infinity Broadcasting as well. If you want to help support us, you can hit the like button and subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing here on the channel. Next up on your docket later tonight here in Australia, 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, the VRS Porsche Cup Series returns as we go racing at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the next round of the VRS Porsche Cup Series. And then Saturday evening, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, we go racing with more racecraft simulations, V8 Veterans action as we head out to Suzuka Circuit for the next round of that season. It's a tight championship battle. You guys don't want to miss it. But for myself, Hamish Munro, with Zach Smathers and Jack Anderson alongside, appreciate your time, appreciate you for being here with us once again. We'll see you guys next week when we go racing at Old Atlanta. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
High pressure, high stakes. It feels like the whole world's watching every move that I make. Another sunrise, another warning, but I'm still learning how to hold the line, how to quiet down the noise inside. And And the moments slip away when I forget what I need. So I steady up my hands, let the rhythm set me free. I remember to breathe when the whole world shakes me down. Clear mind, finally free. I won't break, I won't bow. I'm holding on, holding on. Yeah, I'm stronger than I seem. I remember to breathe.